The play-in bracket has completed. We have 8 teams remaining in Major League Quidditch, and we are about to play a single elimination bracket, best 2 out of 3 series, all the way until we crown a champion tomorrow. I'm Ethan Sturm. I'm with Noah Schwartz. We have an exciting one here as the Boston Forge, the defending champions, look to begin their title defense run against a very scary team, the North Division champion Minneapolis Monarchs. Noah, what are you expecting from this game?
I think we've seen good Quidditch all day so far. It's been an amazing day of Quidditch. I'm so excited to have it continue with these two teams. You're talking about the defending North. You're talking about the current North champions versus the defending champions, like you already said. I think we're gonna have a hell of a game.
Yeah. No, I gotta ask you, because what happened here is that Minneapolis won the North. By virtue of their win, they got to choose either of the other two divisions' second place teams. So they could have picked the Soldados or the defending champions. If you're the defending champions, how does it feel when the team picks you?
It would light a fire under my ass, that's for sure. It was a little bit of a shock when they did end up picking Boston.
Yeah.
This team is having a bit of a down year, but extremely experienced. Lots of players, as you said, who have been there before, and they're going to be extremely dangerous no matter who they play. We'll see if it comes back to bite them, Minneapolis.
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, I mean, it's going to come down to, what kind of offenses we're going to see here. I'm expecting Minneapolis to break out a zone. It's been a struggle so far for Boston to kind of break down those zones. So, what are you kind of hoping to see from Boston a little bit differently as they try to attack some zone defenses?
Anytime you're attacking zone defenses, you want ball movement and you want motion, ball movement to create options, right? You want to be able to swing the ball, create some havoc with beaters, and find open lanes. And passes to different sides of the hoops. I'm really excited for this one. It's great to be with Ethan when he's here with me. I'm really excited to be back. And I'm really excited to be back talking about Quidditch again. And we're about to start this one up. Teams are getting ready to start up.
Alright, so we're about to get starting lineups out on the pitch as both these teams are starting their days. Minneapolis coming in with an 8-1 record from the North Division. So close to becoming the first. Landowman has stepped out high. Meyer knows exactly where he is on the pitch. Now is back up on top of the lane. It's beat by Doyle, so he's going to hit the lane hard. Bumps into, a beautiful look. Bumps into Morgan Bertram and then finds Nathan Bolowski right near the hoops. That was a great job of both forcing the defensive shifts and then reading them well.
Yeah, and anytime you talk about shot blocking in any sport, engage as the ball carrier, you want to engage contact first and then either dish or make the shot. And you see Max Meyer do it beautifully there. Take the contact, still know where his head's at, still know where his players are. Make the dish for the clean finish.
Yep. So Ian Skura subs in for Archibald. Harry Greenhouse now in the game as well. Morgan Bertram and Zach Doyle finishing out that line. Skura is in the lane and throws one right off the opposing beater. And now it's Henry Bear Benson who's considering going the other way. But there are 2 bludgers back, so he is going to have to slow it down.
He's got Max Meyer on the wing.
No, I lied.
To drive.
Yeah. Floats one. I think that went in. Oh, and just like this, Minneapolis is making it a game again.
Yeah, nice little shot there from Bear Benson on the delayed break. Meyer pulled defenders out wide. He found space in the middle. Nice little floater. Ian Skura looking for a quick pass.
And he does find Harry Greenhouse.
Finishes with Harry Greenhouse.
Yeah. So a good response there from Boston,
and a good response there from Skura, who had the quick turnover the other way.
Yeah, just a pass that went to nowhere in particular. And we're going to have to see how the beater game kind of settles down now that Max Havlin is finally out of it. Bludger control is with DeMuth and Dillman, but this is a beating pair that has never played a minute this season, I don't believe, together until this game. And they're going to have to really mesh quickly if this team hopes to make a deep run in this tournament. Yeah. Yeah, no rest and no
Greenhouse playing point on Meyer.
Yeah, exchange of beats at the top. Meyer does get wrapped up at Greenhouse. I think that shot's going to be late, but as long as it still counts as a pass, O'Banner did finish it. I'm not sure AR Josh Mansfield's going to let that stand, though.
Yeah, I think that was beat before the pass last shot.
Yeah. Sorry, that wasn't O'Banner. That's Chris Preston, who just subbed into the game, who delivered the initial pass. Chris Preston, brand new to the sport this season, was recruited by O'Banner. And definitely a high-ceiling player who, in the minutes he's played, has looked good, but has also shown, the rawness that you expect from somebody starting out the career.
We'll see what the call is here in a second, but anytime you join a new sport, anytime you start, there's always a learning curve.
Yeah. I was talking to them after the series I was at with them, and they were mentioning that the thing for them, the hardest thing, was getting that field vision for... So I believe a card was given to Harry Greenhouse.
It looks
okay,
like
so
the goal is
good.
Going to stand.
Yeah. Goal is good, so it's going to make it 7-4, and then there's going to be a card that's not going to be served for Harry Greenhouse. But Ian Skur is looking to run again, because like we said, this Boston team does not want to play the half court. He's trying to make a move on Henry Bear Benson, and he goes over the hoop. The battle of the two Massachusetts Quidditch Conference keepers, and Harry Bear Benson comes out on top.
And not great defense there from Minneapolis. Skur looks like he rushed the shot a little bit.
Yeah, I think he had that hoop for a dunk if he really wanted it.
Mm-hmm. You got to go through the defender there.
Yep. So Minneapolis really working their way back into this game halfway through the initial period of play. It's 7-4. Cody Narveson throws a very hopeful beat that gets nowhere near Tom DeMuth. Henry Bear Benson's going to lob one up. Really didn't give Liz Hunter a prayer of getting it. I would have liked to see Henry Bear Benson just use his reset after that really bad beat from Narveson.
Or take a shot.
Yeah.
I mean, if ever there's a bad turnover, if ever there's a good turnover, it's going to be behind the hoops.
Right.
But now they're coming the other way so quickly.
And that was an incredible feed there from Ian Skur to Harry Greenhouse. Greenhouse gets his second. It's 8-4 Boston.
And we're seeing a real game of highs and lows here for Skur. He's had the two really bad turnovers, or the one missed shot and the one really bad turnover, followed up very quickly with two really great passes to Greenhouse for quick scores.
Yeah, and I was talking to head coach Greg Bento this week, and he said that Ian Skur is a very emotional player, and when he's up, and when he's down, he's down. So they really need to get him rolling early this weekend.
Cost on the point defense of Meyer.
Max Meyer tries to use a...
Might call this tackle from behind.
Oh, no, they call it he's out of bounds.
Meyer did step out of bounds. I think the story of the game so far has just been how many turnovers we've seen in total, but really from Minneapolis.
And how many of them have just been stepping out of bounds? Not being forced into things by beaters or anything like that.
Unforced turnovers. We're looking at least 3 or 4 at this point.
And it's a 4-point game, so how much of that difference? Teddy Costa back in the game, looking to drive. Cody Narveson, though, does force it away. Oh, it's a beautiful lob over to Greenhouse. Greenhouse trying to make a move on Bear Benson. He finds Athena Mayer, and Athena Mayer puts it home.
That's such a beautiful play from everybody on Boston there. Costa understanding that he needs to suck the beater onto him. Gets the pass off at the last second to the open player. Greenhouse recognizing Mayer on the other side of the hoops, making a fantastic play.
Minneapolis going to take the timeout, which is just going to fire up this Boston team and its crowd, which we said they travel well, even more so. And as we get deeper into this game, and more importantly, deeper in the series, because it's the best 2 out of 3, Minneapolis needs to find a way to restrict these fast break opportunities from Boston, because that's all they've done all game.
They've been great on the fast break, and Minneapolis, furthermore, has to cut down the turnovers.
Yes.
It's got to be both at the same time.
Right. But it's those unforced turnovers that are allowing those fast breaks. Teddy Costa got the ball all the way halfway up the defensive side. That allowed him to break in that way.
And so we've seen it so many times, especially on these really great teams. So much communication happens. In between and on those breaks. So it's not just that they get the ball halfway to the midline, but they also get to talk to each other about who's going where. How are you drawing the defense? Where's the beater? And it just makes it so much more effective.
Yeah, and on that stoppage where Teddy Costa was being handed the ball, we could actually hear from up here. Leanne Dillman was literally talking him through how she wanted him to run the fast break. And this Boston team, communication has not been their strength this year. It's something that a lot of people have criticized them for. So it's good to see those extra conversations actually happening here. Just on a scheduling side, like we said, we're now into the quarterfinals, which are best 2 out of 3 to decide the semifinalists who will play tomorrow morning for a spot in the championship. We are here with Boston and Minneapolis. Next on this pitch is what I think is going to be a very exciting matchup between the Austin Outlaws and the Washington Admirals. And we're actually going to be jumping back onto pitch 1 for a matchup between the New York Titans and the Charlotte Aviators, a East Division rematch. East Division putting 4 teams into the quarterfinals. Second straight year it's put the most teams into the quarterfinals. It's been a really good division, and it's going to be fun to see how it plays out.
I think both those matchups are going to be extremely exciting.
Yeah.
We've seen, like we've said this all day, we've seen really good Quidditch all weekend, and it's just only going to get better from here.
Yep. So we're about to get started with Minneapolis' timeout being used. About 12 minutes in the game here. Sorry, about 11 minutes in the game here. It's a 5-goal lead for Boston. And I think maybe one of those 9 goals has been scored in the half court.
And on the restart here, we have Boston. We have Boston with bludger control, Minneapolis with the quaffle.
Yep. Gracie Johnson now in the game at beater alongside Cody Narveson. She's making her debut in the game. It's Max Meyer, Cole Lackmiller, and Chris Preston in the game.
Nice tackle there from Harry Greenhouse. He's going to get beat out quickly, but nice physical touch there from Boston to show they can hit.
Yeah, so it's going to be Lackmiller now getting closed in by Costa, who's now going to go back to Meyer. The unmarked chaser behind the hoops is Cassandra Evans. Preston goes down
really good
hard on
tackle from
attack from
Greenhouse.
Greenhouse. And now Skur's looking to run.
He's got options. He's going to find Costa. Costa's going to put it through easily. A really good break there again from Boston. You had Greenhouse at one wing, Costa on the other. Options galore for Skura.
Yeah, and what we've seen since Leanne Dillman has come into this game alongside Tom DeMuth is what we're used to seeing from her. Her beater pairs do not give up bludger control. And it's when you have bludger control that you can run indiscriminately like they have all game. And, you know, when they won the championship 2 years ago, it was her and Mario Nasta keeping like 90% bludger control in games. And that's what Boston's going to need to do again here.
You hear from all the great teams run on one.
Yep.
And Costa off your screen probably having a hand checking fight with Max Meyer.
Yep, but in the end, Leanne Dillman's going to force a turnover, and it's going to be another chance to run because Sean Paguada and Tom DeMuth are just turtled on a bludger together. Gracie Johnson does have a bludger, but I don't think she's going to be able to get back as fast as Ian Skura can. Though.
And Nasta is already at midfield with only one defender back. I don't know if the ball will hang up too long for them to make that pass. But he's already recognized the situation and they're already ready to get the quaffle in front of the bludgers.
So it's going to be a turnover, and the closest player happens to be a wide open Max Meyer 3 feet from the hoop.
Look, don't want to predict the future here, but I think he's going to put that one in.
Yeah, Athena Mayer has maybe a minor hope and a prayer of getting a hand there, but I'm not counting on it. The former North Division MVP needs to hit his 2 feet shots. As we said, Sean Paguada and Tom DeMuth have still been locked up on that bludger. One thing that's going to be interesting here is Insker's going to be able to get the ball off the shot very quickly. Can Max Meyer score in a way that doesn't allow for an immediate fast break transition?
It does go straight to Skura.
Right, and is Skura going to try to run? No, because Sean Paguada just took it off of Tom DeMuth. All the bludgers are now with Minneapolis, so there's not going to be a fast break opportunity. Big play there by Paguada. 10-5 now the score. I think this is the first half-court offense Ian Skura's had to run basically since he came into the game.
And it's going to be a giant press here from Paguada.
Yeah, but
he's going to back off.
Well, unfortunately, it came so early that Skura hadn't even crossed half, so he didn't have to use a reset. Erin McCready making her first playing minutes, I believe, since the Rochester series this season for Boston. Paguada immediately misses her. Gracie Johnson's going to need to make a play here. Athena Mayer bobbles the ball, and Cole Lackmiller is going to come away with it. They're looking to run. Cole Lackmiller has it on the left side. He's got Max Meyer alongside him. Gets by Athena Mayer into the lane. Scores through. It's been a big game so far here from Cole Lackmiller as they try to pull Minneapolis a little closer.
A really nice play there from Cole Lackmiller. Being able to get up and down the field that quickly. We've seen Boston's break. We have not seen Minneapolis break. It's been a little bit non-existent. Nice to see it there.
Yeah, Gracie Johnson and Sean Paguada doing enough with bludger control to allow them these opportunities. Ryan Fenning's now re-entered the game. Only member of that. It is going to go back to Henry Bear Benson. Serena Montero does not have a ball in her possession, but Erin McCready does right in the middle of the zone. I think Henry Bear Benson is going to have a very difficult to stop angle, though, with a lot of passing options cutting. He hits the lane, and he was looking for either Beth Mueller or Nathan Podolsky. He finds neither. O'Banner, though, does have the ball and looking to drive. Goes through Finn McGargan and puts it through the near hoop. A physical statement there from O'Banner.
Yeah, great body control there from O'Banner to spin, refine the hoop, go through the contact, and lay it in.
Yeah, 13-7. And, you know, Minneapolis has been the better snitch-catching team amongst these two, so it will be interesting to see what happens. And we're going to see what Boston's going to be looking at in the Snitch game. It's always been Mario, Nasta, and Leon Dillman in the Snitch game. It looks like we might finally see Max Havlin and Leon Dillman playing together.
Yeah, that's a pretty intimidating duo to have to catch a snitch against.
Yeah.
On a really easy goal there for Jake Archibald.
Jake Archibald, who has seen nothing but really tough looks from really strong East Division defenses all season, just seems to have the ocean in front of him every time he steps up at the quaffle. 14-7 now the score. We got about a minute and a half of action left here. Boston Forge looking to make a statement win to kick off their title defense here in 2021. Havlin's beat out there by Blanchard. And then he gets beat again. Loves to play through a beat, but Josh Mansfield is having none of that. Podolsky has the ball on the near side, looking to cut across Carson Olazaba.
Looking to find a pick here.
Yeah, gets a screen from O'Banner and goes over to Mueller. Mueller has the ball on the wing. Eats some contact, but doesn't throw it to anyone in particular. No, O'Banner is going to get there before Fenning. It's going to be a tough player to get past. He does get wrapped up. I'm not sure he has a lot of passing options. His whole team seems to have gotten beat. That's a pass to nobody. Oof.
Yeah, Mueller had Podolsky right back on a give and go.
Yeah.
Chose to throw it across the hoops. Ends up being costly as it forces a turnover.
So Carson Olazaba now in the game was a beater for most of his career at RPI, at least in the last few years. Started as a chaser and now back chasing for this Boston Forge team this season.
And transitions can be tough, but transitions and quits are usually tougher from chaser to beater. Beater to chaser a little bit easier.
Yeah, and he made that one look pretty easily. Right through Mueller, right through Podolsky. Another one in the hoops, and it's 15-7 now in favor of Boston.
Really strong performance here across the board from Boston.
Yeah,
we saw they were able to hit a little bit, got out in transition. It really has been the transition game for Boston. Minneapolis hasn't really forced them into the half court too much.
And in those half courts, they've left the ball carriers so much space. The tests for Boston are definitely going to come later. We haven't quite seen them in this game. Here on the far side, we have Nicole Nelson trying to get ball control back for her team, but Max Havlin and Leanne Dillman have them cornered.
Steps out again.
Yeah. Probably the fifth time.
Yeah. Probably the fifth time they've stepped out, for sure.
And while they are unforced errors, you're trying to get as much space as you can when Max Havlin is running around at you like a crazy man. And Ryan Fenning's going to get a very free goal. The fake beat there from Cody Narvison, unarmed.
Yeah, gets the wave off from Narvis.
Yeah. And that is going to be the 20-minute mark, 16-7. A really, really strong effort here from Boston. Set score is going to be 220. So, no, I don't think either of us sees a comeback coming. So my question is, what are you hoping to see from Minneapolis in Game 2?
Got to close down defensively better.
Yep.
Got to cut down on the unforced turnovers. They've got to force Boston to the half court, and they've got to close down ball carriers.
Right.
And they've got to be better in every facet of the game.
Yeah, I mean, if they could get rid of the out of bounds steps, I don't think their offense has been horrific by any means. I mean, they have 7 goals on the game. But it's that defense. I mean, 16 goals allowed is a lot, and it's a combination of the fast breaks and just the inability to close down the half court.
If you're Boston, you got a 200. We're going to 220. You've got a giant lead. What's your strat? What's your game plan for the next however long this takes?
So you could definitely make an argument for just trying to score your 6 goals. Here's why I don't think Boston will or should do that. They need to build some confidence in their snitch game. Like I said, 6-5-1 this season. When they won in 2019, they were 11-1 in the regular season. They caught a lot of big snitches, including Tyra Beckman coming up with the game-winning one to push them over the set score in the last game of the finals. They need to build that rapport for their seekers. And we have a small pool of snitches this weekend. We're kind of seeing the same snitches a lot. So you want to make sure your seekers are getting a chance to start getting comfortable with those snitches. So that's why I think you play the snitch game.
That's very reasonable. Give me a rundown of Boston Seekers. Who do you think can improve the most from time on the snitch?
So I think Beckman is the quiet star of the seeking game at this point. I mean, his star has been rising for years now. He was arguably the most impactful seeker for them in that 2019 run. I think at this point there isn't a question anymore. He's the only seeker on the team that has caught since their opening series. He hasn't been starting. We'll see if he's going to get the start here. No, I think it is still going to be Greenhouse. But we'll see how quick that change-off happens. Greg Bento, the third of their seekers, I believe is out for the weekend with an injury. So I think it's just going to be Greenhouse and Beckman we're mainly going to see this weekend. On the other side, The young Boston seeker from Tufts, Henry Bear Benson's probably going to get the start. He switches in and out with Luke Zach. Luke Zach, 4 catches to his name. I believe Henry Bear Benson has 2 on the season. Zach had 3 straight catches against Indianapolis as they clinched the North Division. Deal Abdallah is our snitch for the game. Has had a very strong weekend so far. Won the first game of the tournament here on Field 2, and has a couple other games where he's lasted a very long time as well. Also going to be interesting to see how Havlin and Dillman decide to play the beater game and how they work together in Snitch on Pitch. Snitch on Pitch is a very chaotic situation. It involves a lot of winning beater exchanges. Havlin, he likes to use his speed and his energy to beat people. That's not really how it works around the Snitch. But one thing Havlin also likes to do is try to go back and forth between the Snitch and the Quaffle game. We'll see if we get any of that from him in this one.
And you talked about some communication problems or questions about communication for Boston. There's nobody that talks more than Leanne Dillman. This will be a good opportunity for them to work together, like you said.
Yeah, so early on, Boston is just going to stay in the Quaffle game, which means Cody Narveson is going to allow Henry Bear Benson to work on Adil Abdallah. Max Meyer is running circles around the zone. He's going to get in, slips past Bertram, past Olazaba. Quick little goal there from Minneapolis. Meanwhile, Henry Bear Benson is getting most of the looks. Greenhouse is going to get beat out just as he started to square up Abdallah. Havlin and Dillman do have bludgeon control, but they're kind of using it in a weird place on the field as Jake Archibald comes in and takes the Quaffle.
They kind of got caught in the middle there for sure.
Yeah. Exchange there between Nelson and Havlin.
Nice
One Havlin by Havlin.
Henry Bear Benson got close while Meyer was putting that first goal through. We'll see if Greenhouse is able to put pressure on this.
Fenning's the player you want in a no-budget situation. Slips past 2, and Greenhouse has the very quick grab, and that is the kind of confidence builder that Boston really needed because Abdallah has not been easy to catch this weekend.
That was a really good grab by Greenhouse. We saw Bear Benson get really close in his first opportunity, and Greenhouse being able to catch on his first opportunity is pretty impressive.
So the catch is good. Unclear if the goal was scored before or after. Either way, it's probably going to be a goal because what they'll do is they'll just give it back to him right next to the hoop if it wasn't a goal. Yeah, they're going to count the goal as well. So it's just going to take 2 more Boston scores now to end this one in a hurry. Really nice start to your Snitch on Pitch period.
It's about as good as it gets.
Yeah. And that's kind of been Boston in a nutshell in this game, about as good as you can get from this team.
Yes. Yes. Not much more to say.
Yeah. Everybody kind of playing at a high level. I'm not sure what the conversation is at this point. Snitch is chalking things over. As we said, this is the first game of this best of two out of 3 quarterfinal. After that, this right on pitch 2, we're going to see the Austin Outlaws taking on the Washington Admirals, who had a intense and exciting game against the Charlotte Aviators to make it through the play-in bracket. Charlotte did end up qualifying as well, and they'll be playing on pitch 1 where we're headed. They'll be taking on the New York Titans. Does seem like the final decision was that everything was good. The catch, the goal. It's 20-8, and it's just 2 more goals here for Boston to walk off with a Game 1 win.
And being able to dispatch with this game quickly, I think is important for Boston.
Yeah, keep people fresh.
Keeping people fresh.
We talked about this beater core not being as deep as it always has been. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if Max Havlin comes off the field pretty quickly here because, I mean, what are you risking? You're up 12 goals.
I think I'd imagine we'd see quite a few subs here.
Yeah. Lackmower all the way back to Persons. Persons swings it back to Majeski. Morgan Bertram stepping out and forces the pass to Lackmower. Cody Narveson does get a beat off on Havlin, and Lackmower's in the lane, can't make the mid-range shot go. I don't hate the shot, though, because he has been on from that range.
No, I think that's a good shot. Move it with momentum moving forward towards the goal. It's a lot shorter than it would otherwise be, and I think that's a totally fine shot on an open goal. He probably is upset he missed that one.
And this is exactly what we're talking about. Eric Berglund playing his first minutes of the season here for Boston. Of course, Noah Zaba has played intermittently in a few games, but hasn't played a ton. No switches yet in the beater game, but definitely Boston reaching into its depth to get these last 2 goals. In fact, I believe every player is an RPI grad in the Quaffle game. Costa back to Berglund. Berglund comes down with it, goes right around Lackmower. He's going to get in his first possession, his first goal of the season for Boston. And Boston's 1 away.
Really nice goal there. Really nice move, really nice shot.
Dillman now coming out of the game. Montero coming back in. I think someone's going to have to pull Max Havlin off the field at this point, though.
Like you said, Havlin took a long off shift.
Yeah.
Early in that game, he might just be wanting to move around a little bit so that he doesn't tighten up.
I want to talk about this adjustment because we talked about both Montero and Havlin being engaged beaters. Havlin is actually taking the back position in this pairing and playing the free beater position where he can just run around and make things happen off of what Montero does, and I love that idea. Lackmiller is just releasing at this point. And now we got a fast break opportunity. This could be the game. Olazaba was going to slow down. O'Banner was all over him. Berglund with the ball. 1 goal to win here for Boston and take a 1-0 lead in this quarterfinal series. Havlin escorting Costa up the pitch. Olazaba with the ball on the wing. Max Meyer loosely guarding. Costa with the ball back across to Berglund. A little overlap here. And Berglund's in the lane, trying to take on Max Meyer. Meyer gets a wrap, ball's loose, ball goes back to Costa. A missed beat there, and it's a long shot that doesn't go. And that is not the look I think that they wanted there.
Yeah, really ambitious there from Costa. That we've seen a lot of stuff from the past with our RPI, with those overlapping runs. I would have liked him to see go in that motion maybe a couple more times, at least one more time.
Yeah.
They kind of got caught. Minneapolis did drop the bludger, creating an effective no bludger situation for just a moment. And that's when the attack came, but just not forceful enough there from Berglund.
Yeah, but Costa, that has been a bit of a problem for him all season. Those long shots that maybe weren't. As Lackmiller gets in the lane again, and he finally got one to go. So it's 21-9. But yeah, Costa's been a little remiss with the shooting, and I think when he was playing earlier in the game, in bigger minutes, he wasn't playing a ton with the ball in his hand in the offense. More of an off-ball chaser, and now we're actually seeing him play a few minutes here, ball in hand. I believe we just got a sub in. Tim Karuble is now playing his first minutes of the season for Boston.
And it was Havlin that rotated off.
Yep, Tom DeMuth now in the game. Karuble with the ball on the near side, working back and forth with Costa, Bertram, and Berglund the rest of this line. Max Meyer stepping up high here to guard Costa. Ball goes across to Karuble. Just a bit of side-to-side work here. Not much movement here from the Boston offense. A little stagnant.
Yeah, very stagnant. And Minneapolis having 2 beaters here, it's going to be tough to break it down that way.
Yeah, we need to see some pressure from the Boston offense. A screen there from Bertram. But again, as long as they're just passing around up top, the Minneapolis defense is not being forced to make any adjustments.
They're going to be very content to stay in their shell, for sure.
Yep, Berglund now has the ball behind. Meyer stepped
Meyer.
out. Yeah, he got beat. But another mid-range shot is just not the looks that they're wanting against these 2-2 sets. And now Banner's looking to run. No bludgers back. No, there is one. It's Montero. And Minneapolis stepped out of bounds again.
I'm cringing a little bit as you say it. It hurts the soul to see it happen so many times.
And the problem is that now Morgan Bertram is basically behind the entire Minneapolis defense.
Bertram needs to take off here. She's getting some advice. She needs to take off, draw a bludger.
Yeah, it looks like Berglund is trying to defend for her. Oh, and then the late run by Karuble, and he puts it away. Boston coming up with the 22-9 victory, a statement win from the defending champions as they look to make their way to the semifinal matchup. If they make it, they'll be taking one of the 2 teams on from our next game between the Austin Outlaws and the Washington Admirals. So stay tuned for that. Or if you want to switch over to pitch 1, we'll be headed over there to call the Charlotte versus New York game. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Keep checking in. We'll be here all evening for these amazing quarterfinal matchups. I'm Ethan Sturm alongside Noah Schwartz and our producer, Harry Clark. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you soon.
Now, we're good? All right. Sorry about that. Welcome back to Major League Quidditch. My name's Reed. I'm joined by Jack McGovern here, and we're going to be casting the Austin Outlaws versus the Washington Admirals. Austin going to be coming in cold-ish, as cold as you can be on a 90-degree Maryland day. But Washington, with a lot of games under their belt already, kind of fitting into a groove. First quarterfinal matchup, best of 3 here, possibility of 3 games. I hope it gets there.
Yeah, and this is an absolute treat. Austin coming in as one of the co-favorites of this tournament, with a championship pedigree, 2 previous titles in 2017 and 2018, and Washington coming into this championships as one of the most exciting teams, the hometown team. They were the top seed in the play-in bracket. They made their way out. They've really punched above their weight all season long, becoming the first team to defeat the Boston Forge in a regular season series earlier. And they are going to be wanting to try to take a series off the Austin Outlaws here for what would be an incredibly impressive double if they were able to pull that off.
Yeah, and Washington, I mean, everybody knows about the high-powered offense of Austin, but Washington's got one of their own.
Yeah.
I mean, they've got threats on every line that they put in. Somebody else is the leading scorer every single game, it seems like. They assist more than any team in the nation. They have, they've been tested in what I consider probably the best region in MLQ, and they've come out. You mentioned it better than I think anybody could. They've punched above their weight. It feels like in every opportunity. So this game has to deliver in my mind.
Yeah, Washington finished the season 6-6. They got to 6-6 in one of the more interesting ways. They started 0-5 and then won their next 6 games before dropping one at the end. So I just love watching this Washington team. They move the ball so well. Their beaters are aggressive. Yet they recover well on defense and can be hard to break down when they're kind of drifting back. They have a bunch of different looks that they can throw at a team, and this is not the challenge that Austin will have wanted to face in the first round.
I think it's no question. Washington beating Charlotte in the regular season, both of those teams having come out of play-in. Austin, favoring that Charlotte matchup, doesn't get it. Instead, it gets a test against Washington. But I don't think that they're disappointed in it, to be honest, because I think the players, you mentioned the pedigree, the championships that they've come in with, they like that test. They want that opportunity to kind of get pushed. They want to be pressured a little bit because that, in their minds, bodes well in the future. But if they're given more than they can handle, they might have an early exit.
Yeah, and I'll defer to you, Reed, as a former player for the Austin Outlaws franchise. You would know better than most the mindset of some of these Austin players today as they get ready for what they hope is a long run at the 2021 MLQ Championship.
Yeah, in previous bias aside, I mentioned it before, if I can get a 3-game series out of this, an Austin loss is honestly one of the best things I think I could ask for. Because these teams are such a fun matchup to think about. So we still have a little bit of time. You're going to be hanging with us a little bit longer. We're just waiting for the warm-ups to finish out. And, I mean, like I said, 3-game series, right? Best of 3. If Austin, I think, comes out early and strong, Washington's not a team to roll over, but they do play with that kind of momentum. They've got some younger talent that feeds a lot of energy, some experienced talent that has a pedigree of their own, to be honest, who can really anchor a Team USA member after Team USA member, and that experience could kind of vault, But Austin with the momentum, if they ever get it, they'll hold it forever. So it's so fun. And I already mentioned the Quaffle matchup, just electric.
Yeah, I can't wait. The championship pedigree from Washington that you're referring to is that Tyler Trudeau and Julia Baer, head coach and assistant coach for the Admirals franchise, previously played for the Boston franchise in 2015 and 2016 and won the Benepe Cup. And then Brian Mulcahy and Justin Cole, who was not here today, they both won championships with Boston in 2019 before moving to the area. They've been such huge additions for the Admirals and really revolutionized the way this team competes.
Yeah, it's a faster offense, or it's a faster Washington than we've ever seen. It's a more active Washington, and throughout the season, I think there's been a lot of criticism of, and I say criticism in a loose term because the standard is so high for this team that their beaters tend to be what everybody points out as a weak point. But I mean, so far this weekend, the beating has been incredible. They've controlled every game I think that they played. They didn't drop a game in the play-in.
Yeah, we saw a huge performance from Bernie Burgess earlier in the play-in bracket. Melissa Smith has been so consistent as usual, really strong. And I just love what they're able to do, and I'm really excited to see them face their toughest challenge yet in Austin.
You said it best. I mean, this is going to be really their first true test. I don't think anybody had predicted Washington not to make it out of the play-in bracket. And maybe hopefully for these beaters on this team, it built a lot of confidence that they can hang with the best, and now they get a chance to prove it against. You already mentioned it, a co-favorite.
Yeah, and it looks like we're starting to get our starting lines here.
Yeah, so we're going to switch it out to the field, and we're going to meet you on the call in just a sec. All right. You see the starting lineups as we reposition. All right. And, the crowds we already mentioned today. We're on 2 fields today. We're going to be back to 1 field tomorrow, the championship field. But, the crowds the energy's been here.
Oh, yeah.
So easy to call a game whenever you get to feed off of everybody here. The atmosphere was electric. Whether you're rooting for the underdog or a hometown favorite or anything like that, it's just been a lot of fun to be a part of.
Yeah, a real highlight this morning was seeing the way that the North Division team supported the Cleveland Riff as they were making their way through the play-in bracket. A real underdog, finished 4th in the North Division this year, but really
impressed me a lot.
Outperformed expectations and gave League City a really difficult challenge in the play-in bracket behind the support from the crowd.
So, just a couple storylines to be thinking about. This is Austin's first action of the day. They were the 2nd seed overall. They got what was essentially a chance to wait and see who came out of the play-in bracket for their opponent, obviously being Washington. And if they were able to stay loose, if they were able to come into this game relatively fresh, then maybe there is an advantage. But honestly, for me personally, I loved having those games under my belt and coming in loose and ready to play.
Yeah, no doubt they will have gotten in some warm-ups, but you just can't replicate the feeling of a game in warm-ups, especially when you have players like Tyler Trudeau and Rachel Heald running at you. You have to kind of get in the mix and make a tackle before you feel completely ready to go.
Yeah, and Austin's physicality is definitely known, but physicality tends to be one of the last things that kind of gets up to speed in a game, at least for your first action. Washington might come out early, make a physical statement, and then we might see Austin come alive. But, once again, the game isn't won on paper.
Yeah.
The game isn't won, by us talking about it. It's played.
Yeah. Yeah, and we talked to head coach Juan Martinez, and he told us that Austin really prides itself on their defense, and that's where their focus was leading into the championship weekend. So that's what I'm watching for early against the fearsome Washington offense.
Yeah. He mentioned that this Austin team, as we get brooms up, and Sam Heimowitz is the one with the ball. The spin move's going to give him a free lane, and Tyler Trudeau is not going to be able to keep up.
Oh, what an explosive start for the Austin Outlaws. Scoring on brooms up. That's a specialty of the Outlaws, and they do it again here today and start off 10-0.
I wanted to say, Austin could come out cold. That's about as hot as you can start.
Yeah.
Not only did you get bludger control, you got the quaffle, you got the score, immediate presence, and a common mantra for the team, 3-0. If you go up 3-0, you eliminate any hope of the enemy team there, and a great block by Tyler Trudeau as he receives a pass and scores.
And 3-0 is not going to happen.
Yeah.
Tyler Trudeau says no to that.
He heard me, I assume. The fire in his eyes was lit. And, easy shot and score. That assisting team that I talked about, they're showing it again.
Yeah. Yeah, there's so much chemistry on this first Washington line.
And Augie Monroe and Josh Andrews with Andrew Axtell and Casey Irwin as your chasing lineup here for Austin, just swinging it around. You saw this a lot in the Indianapolis game with the box offense. They're going to give you a few different looks here and there. So Cole Travis able to stave off the beater pressure from a collective beater core in this Washington team. But Washington now, Mulcahy with the quaffle, takes a shot opportunity, another roll off the top of the hoop, but it's put back! What a great shot from 15 yards out! Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I believe that's Julia Rankin with the long distance goal. I love it. Shooter's got to shoot.
And we'll take every bit of it. That was a beautiful shot. That hoop on 3 separate instances has been hit at the top, and the ball has rolled over, denying a Washington goal all 3 times. We finally get the redemption shot, and Rankin hopefully, breaking the curse there.
Yeah, they're getting the home team bounces now.
Yeah, for sure. And I just want to give a quick shout out. The officiating crew of every game that I've seen thus far, just absolutely stellar.
Yeah.
It is so difficult for a game that has so many things going on to catch everything. And honestly, I think that these crews have been some of the best that I've ever seen.
Yeah, I completely agree. They've really kept the games moving, communicated with players. I love the way they've been controlling the pitch today.
Yeah. All right. Looks like play will be resuming. Austin with control of the quaffle. Up 3. For this Austin team, not where they want to be, honestly. They hold themselves to very high standards, and this is not the spot that they thought they would be in. Marty Bermuda is getting his first action of the game.
Yeah, and this is interesting. They're playing Josh Johnson and Augie Monroe at the same time. They've been mostly switching off, but I think the Outlaws are trying to get Johnson going here.
Yeah, for sure. JJ, Augie Monroe, looking for something. The spin move is going to be there. Riley Starr is not able to hold on, but he does stay in front. I say that as Augie swings by him and gets an easy shot on the goal. You really don't have more than maybe 2 shots defensively before they're going to find an opportunity.
Yeah, and especially when you're going against Monroe. Monroe knows how to hit those shots in high-pressure situations, and the Outlaws are looking to put some distance on the Admirals as we inch towards Snitch on pitch in game 1.
Ooh, good move by TJ. Gets the pass to the front side, but it's just a bit too wide. Casey Irwin going to get beat. He picks up his own pass. Trudeau is going to get 1 block. Second block, no good. Quaffle goes on the field, but Augie is going to be pressuring. He draws the beat, but Marty Bermudez not able to get the pass. A bit too far ahead of him. And that's going to stop the drive. Good patience, though. Once that initial play stops there, Augie kind of throwing his body out to dry against that beater, making them commit, and then getting the pass off. But once again, the execution, almost there, not quite, though. 2 missed beats. JJ looking to drive, gets the shot. Easy score.
And there's the goal from Johnson.
Yeah.
That's exactly what the Outlaws are looking for from the young University of Texas keeper, 21 years old. They need him to play a big part this weekend for them to win the championship.
And honestly, quickly becoming one of the best keepers, not only in the region, but in the nation. He's done nothing but improve, and this Outlaw season has just been pivotal for his development.
Yeah. It's really exciting to see.
Hallie Pace going off the field for a card.
I just love the development that many college players we've seen from many college players this season in Major League Quidditch, especially with the last season being canceled because of the pandemic, and 2 nationals being missed in the college season. This MLQ season has been huge for player development.
Yep. All right, Washington back to that first line. Hoping to have a better performance than they did the first time. I think they amassed 1 goal on their shift, and now we'll see if they can, get something going here with the addition of TJ at this point.
Yeah, and Jenneret has really found ways to score in tight spaces on the wing, behind the hoops. Misses the shot there, but Trudeau is going to recover the quaffle.
Yeah.
As Jenneret calls for the quaffle again.
Yeah. And you're looking at a lot of Rankin trying to set these picks on the backside, open up some of the lanes here. TJ able to get the pass back across the middle of the field, cannot connect. There's so much traffic there. Austin just clogging the lanes, making sure that nothing is going to make it through. JJ on the receiving end of a pass. Doesn't get beat. Now does. Is beat on the second attempt. Oh, but that one's possibly going to miss. Okay, we've got a call. They might be calling Josh Johnson beat on the initial play and then a turnover of the quaffle after the fact, but let's see. Right now, Davis Rowe in possession of the quaffle for the time being. Okay, timeout Austin. Man, I mean, it's a game of almost like 3 parts. We saw the Austin surge at the beginning.
Yeah.
Washington kind of clawing their way back, finding some momentum, and then I look up at the board now, and Austin's got 9 goals.
Yeah, they've stayed consistent. On offense, they've been able to, pick up goals. Even when Washington has been finding their success, they haven't gotten too high, they haven't gotten too low. That's a trademark of this Austin Outlaws franchise. Just very level-headed. They know what it takes to win, and they're going to execute here.
Yeah, and you tend to expect that, but for a team like that who has those high expectations, if you go down early in any of these games, that can be pretty rattling, especially for some of these players who are used to that kind of success. And being met with that kind of adversity could be just the foothold that some of these teams need to upset a team like Austin. Washington showing flashes of that here, but I really want to see that first Washington line that has been so prolific thus far today and in the regular season come into their own. I feel like they're just not firing on all cylinders right now.
Yeah, I think that's right. I think we've yet to see them click perfectly in the ways that we've come to expect from them. It's an unreasonably high expectation.
Yeah.
But I think we still could yet see it.
Yeah, and we haven't talked much about them, but Austin beaters this game have had control for such a large majority that it is the reason why these possessions can be so difficult on the offensive end for Washington. Every pass that is in the air for longer than 1 second is going to be closed in on by a beater and likely will turn into a turnover. So it's just so hard to work. You got to get, first step is bludger control. Then we can work the offense that we're used to seeing.
Yeah, the Outlaws have Howie Pace in the game right now at beater. And she has a ridiculous plus 49 plus minus this season.
Insane. Unheard of. Julia Rankin, though, with the shot opportunity is not going to get it. TJ trying to clean up a loose quaffle. He's going to get beat before he can get there. And we might get a call. Bernie trying to get the bludger from Hallie Pace, as you mentioned, but not sure if he was beat before. Yep, he was beat before, continued the play. That is going to be a card. And lost his broom, perhaps. My intel from the crowd. Thank you.
Hey, we don't have a spotter here today, but we have a little help from our friends. In the stands.
One of the not only most energetic, but educated crowds. I mean, everybody knowing so much about the sport, and you have to for a sport like this. And what a pass. Okay, Luis Sanchez, great feed to Sammy, the Texas A&M connection. Two close friends on the team, and you're probably going to see that a lot. A great caster duo as well.
Yeah, if you heard one of our earlier games this morning, I believe it was League City and Detroit.
Yeah.
Sammy Garza and Luis Sanchez were on the call. Now they're on the field for the Austin Outlaws and scoring goals.
Not only talking the talk, but walking the walk.
Yeah.
All right. Washington now. Going in 20 seconds left in pre-snitch gameplay. A shot rip from Sheridan there. TJ recovering the quaffle. Trudeau, 10 seconds until the possession ends. That is the first reset, but Luis Sanchez is going to get that quaffle. They've got an opportunity. The pass? Davis Rowe, right place, right time, catches a quaffle, gets up into the air, puts it on the middle hoop.
Yeah, and did you see how Augie Monroe, now in the game at Beater, just created that opportunity, blew up the Washington Admirals offense, beat out a couple of their players, and allowed for Luis Sanchez to take the quaffle in the opposite direction.
Yep, and this is going to be the last possession of regulation or pre-snitch gameplay. If you've ever seen an Austin game, you know that Augie's going to be coming in either right before snitch on pitch or right as it starts. So not too unheard of here, and that's gonna end regulation or pre-snitch on pitch play. Excuse me. And the score here 4-11. It is not to say that Washington hasn't played well. It's just Austin really starting to come into their own as we get deeper into this game.
Yeah, whatever rust they had maybe at the beginning of the day, long trip up from Austin, Texas, they've shaken it off pretty quickly. I think the shift in the middle where Monroe played with Johnson a little bit was key in just stabilizing the team and allowing some of their younger players to feel comfortable and get hot, essentially. Which is what they're going to need as the games progress.
And head coach Juan Martinez was talking about, the team chemistry. A lot of these players have played with each other, but one deviation from historical squads, Augie Monroe not on the same line as Marty Bermudez, which is something that is brand new this season because of how much Josh Johnson has been pivotal for that lineup and how effective they've worked together, that even Marty Bermudez is not in the same line there. Not to say that he's playing worse or anything like that. It's just the chemistry is really building.
Yeah. Monroe and Bermudez, of course, won a couple of college championships with the University of Texas, won a club championship with the Texas Cavalry, won Team USA gold medal together. It's been very surprising not to see them play together, but it's worked for the Outlaws, and it's one thing that they are excited about because of how it allows some of their other players to get going.
Yeah, it's really easy, I think, to get complacent in what you're doing, and to shift things up should speak to how willing this coaching staff is to make the right move. So, obviously, if it was just a train wreck, we could draw it up as that. But we're seeing the success here.
Yeah, you got to experiment, especially during the regular season, so that you have different looks that you can throw at teams at championships.
Yep.
And it's working here.
Davis Rowe, trying to drive through two, it looked like. Mulcahy and Heald on the opportunity. Just a little too quick, I think, on the drive. Can wait for the beaters and the opportunity. And waiting for the call. Okay, it was a dismount of Davis Rowe, so a quaffle turnover there.
Our snitch today is Adil Abdallah. Josh Andrews is seeking for the Outlaws. For the Admirals, it looks like it's Brendan Hutton, who put in some solid beater minutes earlier and is now looking to use his long arms to get a catch.
All right, Augie Monroe with a beat and a catch, but does not recover the second. Fortunately for him, Cole Travis able to scoop it up and create the turnover. Ooh. Trudeau going down, holding his right arm. Bit of a dangerous play. We'll wait for the call. Yeah, Brennan Hutton already with 2 snitch catches to his name. Tied for most on the team with TJ.
Good to see Trudeau back on his feet.
Yeah. I mean, Trudeau as tough as they come, though.
Oh,
I mean, he mentioned in our talk that he doesn't feel like there's a single tournament he's ever played that he hasn't come away with bumps or bruises of some sort or another. And so soreness is expected just because of his play style, but
Yeah.
Always, able to bounce back in good form. And it's good to see.
Absolutely. He's one of the best tacklers in the game around the hoops, and his driving is just so physical.
Augie showing off some of that athleticism.
Yeah, the Outlaws bubble has been so strong as Monroe and Travis just patrol midfield here.
And Quaffle play, Luis Sanchez with a behind the back pass, gets it to McBride, and she's able to get it back to Sanchez, back to McBride, but the catch is bobbled, the broom gets lost, and now it's Washington going the other way. Ooh, a good catch by Nardone. And now Quaffle turnover again, wrap up, gonna be brought down by TJ. Nardone just creating havoc on the beater end, and Quaffle plays just as chaotic. All right, we've got an opportunity. Aaron McBride with a quick release, but TJ with the two-handed block on the top hoop. You have to anticipate the shot, has to make a guess on where it's going. I mean, just perfect execution, and Washington getting a little bit of energy.
Yeah, absolutely stuffed by the young University of Maryland player, TJ Jenneret. That's a huge energy play.
Oh, and Trudeau just throwing that one away. Casey Irwin, I mean, just catching it like a pop fly in the outfield. No score since Snitch on pitch, but I mean, if you asked me, I would have said it's just been so crazy. It's hard to track. But Sammy now with the drive, and that is a change of pace. Sammy with that quick step, plants the left foot, gets around to the right side, and you want to talk about a mid-range shooter, that's your guy.
Yeah, Sammy Garza has been electric on ball this season, and it's good to see him bringing the same skills to MLQ Championship.
Yeah, and he's been working with his core for a while, and the development of his skills has not only been intentional, but very, very evident, especially this season. Getting a bunch of minutes and his play almost demanding it from the beginning of the season to now. Just a great change of pace, like I said, for this team. Improving almost as fast as the commentator skills. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Freddie now, Salinas for Austin seeking. All right, Washington now with an opportunity and turns it over. Casey Irwin going to slow down the fast break. Sammy threatening, but just positioning to make sure that things are going the right way. Freddie almost gets a catch there, but Washington abandoning Quaffle play altogether. JJ now at the Quaffle. Aaron McBride on the backside. He's going to be looking for it now. Doesn't have to. Just the pump fake to get people in the air and a score. Washington not wanting any piece of that on the defensive end.
Yeah, Johnson is so dangerous with the beaters out of the play. He's just going to drive through the heart of his opponent's defenses.
And we're getting our first action here for Austin. Eddie Molina beating for Snitch on pitch with Take K. Also 2 University of Texas graduates.
Yeah, what an impressive shift from Monroe and Travis earlier.
Yeah.
Just showing why they are some of the best in the business at Snitch on pitch beating.
Yeah, Mulcahy getting the ball back out. Cross pass to Heald, and she's able to get it to Littleton now, who's driving on the right side. Fakes it right, then it ends up delivering. Oh, a good pass, but nobody's there. Littleton now picking up off the ground. looking for a head fake. You see the hair just flip. And now, I mean, they're just working the backside, and you can't pass that ball to a chaser who's closer to a beater than you. That just leaves him out to dry, and that's a quick turnover. JJ now. Quick pass, just a little fancy. Aaron McBride, that shot almost always goes in. The two-handed catch into immediate shot. Just a bit tall. But they do keep possession. Back to Aaron McBride. Another shot opportunity. No good. This time the one-hander. Mulcahy dropping the quaffle now. Could be a catch for Andrews.
If the catch is good, the score would be 165 to 40. The set score is 170. Snitch in Major League Quidditch is worth 35 points.
Yep. The 5 points really just signifying who caught the snitch. For all intents and purposes, you're really rounding down. The 5 just signifying exactly that. All right, catch is good. Play resuming, intercepted by JJ. I mean, this is just methodical. Washington looking a little bit desperate in some of these passes just across players through traffic, and it's getting picked off.
Yeah, and Austin just needs one more goal here.
Yep.
To send the series to game 2.
And it's hard to say that it won't happen through this, Josh Johnson or this backside play of the unmarked chasers that Austin has. That's just been the bread and butter for this team. Tate K getting beat there, trading with Bernie, but the fact that Bernie is closer to his side of the pitch than Tate was, that's a favorable situation. First reset for Washington. Or first forced reset, I should say. Casey Beavers chasing for Austin right here. Mia Munoz getting her first action as well. Juan Martinez talked about Mia in preparation for this, saying she is the most improved player on this Austin team, hands down. Nobody is in the gym before Mia. Nobody's out after her. She's just put in so much effort here, and the minutes that she is playing right now is all because of that.
Yeah, and you've really been able to see the results on the field, too, in the regular season.
Yeah.
She's played important minutes for the Outlaws.
Yeah, really awesome to see. Such a good story, I think. All right, Washington, still life. But it's going to take a huge comeback. Okay, the pass on the top. That is a beautiful connection from Julia Rankin. All the way across.
That's Ben Mertens.
Yeah, Ben Mertens. Okay, just making sure. I mean, the headband threw me, but yeah. Mertens able to get it from George Mason, just stretching way up to catch that pass from Rankin and puts it in.
Yeah, Mertens, the most experienced member of the Admirals squad in his 6th season for the Washington franchise.
Oh, and JJ is just going to run through the Washington defense, celebrating that goal, but not getting back on defense in the same fashion. And that's game 1 for Austin.
Yeah, that's a statement
Yeah.
from the Austin Outlaws. I think a lot of people were expecting a close game from Washington and Austin because of how well Washington performed against New York and Boston during the regular season. And Austin pretty quickly put them away and just extended their lead all game with the snitch catch from Josh Andrews coming as the final nail in the coffin.
A few missteps here and there. A couple, people not on the same page, but I mean, you can't. It's so hard to critique a 17-5 win in the quarterfinals.
Yes.
These are the best 8 teams in the nation right now, and you're winning by more than 100. That's like, you're not going to feel bad about that kind of play.
Yeah.
With that being said, though, Washington, some flashes. I think the line that they are more confident in didn't perform as well, and if they are able to fire on and achieve the kind of level of play that we're used to seeing out of them, they will be able to contest Austin. It's just putting together a complete game. You have to be almost perfect, it feels like, after what we just saw.
Yeah, I think that's right. And we've seen Washington play close to perfect games this season in the course of upsetting the Boston Forge, in the course of giving the Titans their closest games of the season.
And a Boston team who just blew out a Minneapolis team. Like, to say that level of play is different game to game, an understatement.
Yeah. So this Washington team is pretty good.
Yeah.
And I think we are all expecting a closer contest in Game 2, including Austin.
Yep. Well, that's Game 1. Like I said, we're going back to the Indianapolis and San Antonio series, as well as the New York and Charlotte, series.
The New York and Charlotte series should be wrapping up now. The Boston Forge and Minneapolis Monarchs series will resume on Field 1, I think.
Yeah, always picking up the slack here, Jack.
Yeah.
Indy SA.
Yep, and so we will see you soon in just a moment. Hello again, welcome back. It's going to be game 2 of Indianapolis versus San Antonio. Not going to be too long until we start here. They're just getting brooms down. We're going to throw it over pretty quick, but I'm Reed, this is Jack. We're going to be on the call. Let's see the field. Oh, in just a sec.
Our producer Harry Clark just went upstairs to check on the cameras. We have a great setup here at the fields at Troy Park. Where we have press boxes above bleachers, and we have our cameras positioned on top of the press boxes, which is how we are able to get such.
Fuente resuming position for the substitute player. Jenna Adams with the quaffle looking to get in. Has a shot opportunity. Chris De La Fuente blocking, using his body to block the bludger, giving Jenna Adams the shot opportunity, and she does not disappoint. A great score.
I love the beater chaser coordination there. De La Fuente putting his body on the line, recognizing that the Soldados need a goal, and Jenna Adams taking her space, running all the way to the hoops and scoring the goal.
Yeah, just her second goal of the season, which does not speak to the level of impact that she has on the pitch. She is, I mean, really coming into her own here on this team. Played for UTSA for a while, and now kind of fitting into this squad. After something like that, an injury that we saw, getting the momentum back on your side and kind of putting that behind you, like Ryan Naraki, we will be playing this game. Don't you worry about that. Nick Hoffman now with the quaffle resets it to the top of the field. Million passing it down. Kaufman with Austin Viejo on defense. And Austin smartly closing off that backside pass as much as he can. Really inviting Kaufman into the center of the field where the beaters of San Antonio can help out. You've got, Chris De La Fuente, we mentioned, Jess Markle as well. Ready to just clean up every bit of it. All right, Kaufman now, backside. Once again, Markle on the defense. Beats out Kaufman, but not before he gets a pass. Million now on the front side. Just swinging it around. And this is good. This is patient play from Indianapolis. Don't rush it. You're getting good looks on the beater play. In time, you can make some opportunities.
Yeah, at the very least, they're seeing how the Soldados defense moves, how the rotations work, and learning, hopefully, so that they can adjust later on in the game.
And that's just great beater play to get the bludgers on the ground and then to create the turnover. Austin Viejo passing the ball off to Luke Langlanet, but the beat comes in. Danny Yakub from out of nowhere runs all the way downfield, recovers a bludger, sprints all the way back, and gets the beat on Luke. Luke had no idea he was coming.
Yeah, what an athletic recovery from Danny Yakub. A great play.
All right, we get a stoppage of play here. All right, a substitution. I guess possibly malfunctioned equipment or blood, maybe, but only speculation there. Nick Hoffman now with the quaffle. Passing over, good stuff. Prime was the receiving end of that pass, but the backside of the hoops, Indy's working it, but San Antonio, comfortable, honestly. Nick Hoffman is going to be collecting another card there. If we were playing poker, Nick with a full hand, but unfortunately the card's not a positive aspect here.
Yeah, Kaufman picked up 2 in game 1 of the series. The cards do reset for game 2, but I think he's going to pick up his first yellow card of this game today.
Yeah. And we've got another player down on the field. I think Austin Viejo was the driving player, tackled by Nick Kaufman. A really physical game, too. I mentioned that physicality in the Austin series may take a little bit to get up to speed, and the night and day difference from game 1 to game 2 for Indy and San Antonio has been, I mean, really evident.
Yeah. As Austin Viejo walks off on his own power, that's really good to see. But Indianapolis, they, after losing to San Antonio in 2019 in the quarterfinals, do not want to lose again. They do not want to go home after playing only 2 games. They are bringing the physicality in game 2.
Yeah, you can tell they want it. Unfortunately, that is presenting itself in an illegal procedure there. But
they have to keep their heads.
Yeah, you really do, because cards can single-handedly like throw a game for you essentially. But great shot, San Antonio now with their second goal of the game. We kind of went through a dry spell for both of these teams, and we kind of break that now. TJ Martinez. Oh wait, no, excuse me, David Avila. Pardon me.
Yeah, a quick conversion with the Soldados, a player up in the Quaffle game as Kaufman sat for the penalty.
Resetting the ball? I assume they blew the play dead before the shot. Okay, no, yeah. I was like, there's no way a goal occurs and then they get the ball back, right? Yeah. All right. Kaufman now re-entered the game as, I say as he subs out, but after that card. Now Matthew Melton, Kennedy Murphy, who had that incredible catch and score earlier in the game. Their only goal this game, Indianapolis. And Luke Yeager now, notoriously fond of the head fake, and with a great hair to accentuate maybe some of that head faking that he does. Because by the time Luke makes that cut, the hair is still in place, so it looks really weird, really fluid.
I'm excited to see what Yeager can do. Played limited minutes in game 1, but was a difference maker during the regular season with his activity at the top of the key. He's the kind of player who can draw defense in with how much he moves and how much attention he demands.
Yeah, and Harold Avincula, as the free beater in this situation, helped out here by Catherine Rogers, who's creating good plays. Oh, sorry. Yeah, Catherine Rogers. I mean, this beater duo has been extremely effective in the regular season. We're just trying to find that chemistry again come postseason now. Ooh, not quite able to get there.
I love the idea from Ren Laver to step to the quaffle and put some pressure on Murphy.
Yeah.
It could have gone the other way, but Murphy was able to make a good recovery.
Yeah, split second sooner on the read, and I think he's able to get to that ball, but perhaps calculated, who are we to say, by the Indianapolis team. All right, Murphy looking in. The pass is going to go out of bounds, yeah. Possibly a shot pass opportunity. We talked about earlier how the shots with a player behind can be really advantageous because even on a miss, you still recover the ball, but now we're looking at San Antonio trying to create some offense of their own. Luke is a risky pass across the middle of the field, hopefully trying to catch Luke Yeager falling asleep. Luke Yeager falling asleep in the middle, but I mean, he's gonna eat that up.
And Matt Melton with the ball now. I would love to see Melton get into some dangerous spaces and go to work on the wing.
Yeah, well, that's where he's been most effective this whole season, especially behind the hoops where he goes now. The second he receives that ball behind the hoops, he loves to make that cut and shoot on the tall hoop. No, it's good. All right, that's exactly why we talk about it. That's his sweet spot. That's what he loves to see.
It is, and he's been able to turn something or nothing into something all season.
Yeah.
He's scored 9 goals in the regular season. There's one right now. Potentially the spark for this Indianapolis Intensity team.
Yeah, and talking about a spark, I mean, coming back onto the field, feeling a lot better now. Austin Viejo able to get that score.
Yeah, great to see Viejo back on the pitch.
Yeah.
After going down on the tackle earlier.
All right, Nathan Digman back in the game. Logan Zahn flanking on the right side. Garrison receiving this pass. David Avila on the close side. And Taylor Tracy trying to clear away with Aaron McBride. Oh, the shot opportunity. No good. They call no good. Glancing off the hoop.
Yeah, just unlucky for the Soldados. Tracy was able to get deep into the Indianapolis defense there. I like what he's brought all season, and there he goes, sprinting up the pitch again. Just has a real motor.
Yeah, and Sam McNew, of course, as you compliment him, giving him a quick beat as he tries to make a play and forcing him all the way back to his hoops. But this is a classic combination, Catherine Rogers with Tim Kwan, who, I mean, on this team has the best plus minus for Indianapolis. So a big impact, a big spark, especially whenever legs can tire out. Nick Kaufman, though, speaking of spark, shot just over. Matthew Melton calling for the ball. He's got the opportunity. Pump fake. The shot! A classic. I mean, the fact that Matt Melton Gramps was able to score without a pump fake is surprising to me, because every single shot I feel like he takes, it's preceded by that pump fake. Classic.
Yeah, great hesitation. Just got the defenders off balance a little bit and created the opening for himself to score the goal.
Goal's good. Yeah.
We have a close game here.
Yeah. 6 minutes left in pre-snitch play.
And it's 40-30.
That's where Indianapolis wants to be. I mean, at this point, last game, they were down 3, if not more.
Yeah, they have to give themselves a chance in the snitch game. They trust their seekers, who have primarily been Jeff Sywick and Matt Melton. They have other options too, but they don't want to fall into a deficit deeper than 3 or 4 points.
Yeah, and Aaron McBride's going to get bludger control there. Chris De La Fuente, a benefactor there of the play. And they're going to clear the room. Chris De La Fuente actually getting beat, though. That might be bludger control. Okay, no. Aaron's going to keep that a big block from Nick Kaufman.
Kaufman with another huge shot stop. That's we've seen him do that a couple times today.
Yeah, the crowd loving it, too.
Yes.
Well, Scott Ryan now with the quaffle. First action for him today. Not today, in the game, at least. And Indianapolis looking to get control. Catherine Rogers and Tim Kwan. Oh, the throw is going to miss, but Tim Kwan's going to get one bludger back. Does not get the second, and it's going to be at least 10 seconds until Indy's got a bludger. They have to be careful with the quaffle. If they turn this over, it's going to be a fast break. And here it is. Oh, no! Craig Garrison, the turf monster, coming up, taking a bite out.
Garrison just loses his feet at the most inopportune time.
Getting heckled by the crowd. And to be fair, I mean, Craig welcomes that kind of attitude. He's got a lot of friends and family here, so. Oh, okay, big pass. Luke getting the pass off, and that's going to be a quick score. Mel Kite, I believe, is going to be the one scoring that one.
Yeah, great positioning to receive and score that pass.
Yeah, and it's good to see her get incorporated into this. She was a big spark in game one that started that pull away for San Antonio.
That's right.
And we could be seeing a carbon copy of that. Oh, missed beat there. They get one bludger back. Catherine Rogers maintaining, Sam McNew.
And I'm loving how Luke Yeager is moving around just because it forces the San Antonio beaters to respond.
Yeah.
I mean, Indianapolis has been cycling this quaffle around their box offense all day long, but the more stationary strategy doesn't quite require the same level of response from the defense.
Yeah. You're 100% right. But that's just a stylistic preference, and if you're working within your own means there, then like you're absolutely going to be more comfortable, and that's where Indy is comfortable. All right, Million to the backside with Prime receiving that quaffle. Oh, is that good? It is! Yeah, just a huge ball.
Change. And now there's a loose quaffle, although San Antonio is going to...
Luke Yeager. Oh, Bludger's coming down. That's going to be a tie-up. Indianapolis has Bludgers on the play. Quista La Fuente also there. They're going to be beating away, and that's going to be an opportunity. Two-handed shots, no good. Oh my gosh. I mean, it doesn't get any easier than that. He's just going to miss that opportunity. McIntyre just wishing he could get that back.
Yeah, for sure. The Soldados would love to get a couple goals here because I know, do not want to play a Game 3. From talking to assistant coach Mel Kite, one of the things she mentioned is that they are looking to sweep. They were not happy about the 2 games out of 3 win in 2019. They think they can do better.
Yeah, and they can here. I mean, up a goal. Snitch on pitch still yet to come. If San Antonio wins this, they are the first team to move on to semifinals. All right, Nathan Dignan creating any sort of possession he can. I mean, he's just got to save face, I think, with that pass. Logan's on, I mean, kind of hanging him out to dry there. Traded Bludgers. Caleb Mans is the beater there on the play. Logan Zahn trying to drive in, is brought to the ground. Gets the pass off. Nathan Dignan able to get the pass back, and Logan Zahn no good, beat before.
And that was really close. Digman and Zahn have worked really well together all season. Zahn coming in from the San Antonio program, as we have a no bludger situation the other way now for San Antonio.
Yeah, I mean, stiff arm. One brought down. Big tackle coming through. Luke Langlanay getting, brought down by Marasa, who, with all the confidence in the world, just says, yeah, no, you're coming with me. We're going to the ground. That ball is mine.
That is an absolute show-me moment from Alyssa Marasa there with a huge tackle.
Talk about a spark. I mean, the sideline just going crazy after that play. Who could blame him?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Now
we
Murphy,
can hear the energy from the stands, too.
Yeah, exactly. Murphy now at the quaffle, just trying to find any avenue. On defense here, Brooke Willett stepping out. Playing more of a marked defense. He's going to lose the quaffle there. Tim Wynn with just space ahead of him. He's going to drive. Wrapped up. Gets the pass off. Is going to score. David Avila. Yeah. This game is blown wide open.
The former Team USA Seeker selection comes up big with his second catch in a row. This would put Indianapolis up 75-60. And put them 5 goals away from extending their season and sending this series to a Game 3.
So good. I mean, just crazy pandemonium at this point. San Antonio, I think that's a gut punch. To receive. You have lost one of your better players. You overcome that with what I would consider really good play thus far. They've managed to keep control quite well, but I mean, to watch a 2-goal lead evaporate, and now you find yourself down. I mean, what a swing.
Yeah, and that's why San Antonio is calling a timeout to talk about their strategy here.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just want to shout out the resilience of this San Antonio Soldados team.
Yeah.
They don't have Miguel Esparza, their leading goal scorer. They don't have Bailey Fields this weekend, or Daniel Williams, 2 of their Team USA level beaters. And Ryan Naraki went down with an injury earlier in this game, but they are still right there with this Indianapolis Intensity team, looking to eliminate them if they can pull back 1 goal.
And it just speaks to the depth of this team. There was a reason Mel Kite was so confident in our talks earlier in the week. It's because, everybody on this team is a stud, and they show it. It shows up on the pitch. Nobody has to say anything about it. The play really displays exactly the kind of level of that they're at. And so to have that level of adversity and overcome it to this point, I mean, that's routine for this team.
Absolutely. This team has title expectations, not just title aspirations.
Yeah. And now we get to see another impact player, Maya Heinbach, getting another strip, but Tad Walters finding it right back. Jess Markle and Maya on the pitch together. In Maya's first minutes of the day, for her immediately getting control. All right, Indianapolis bringing it up. Tad Walters with the shove in the back is going to get called back to hoops. Maya Heinbach passing it off and is acting as this free beater now to create havoc for Danny Yakub stepping up. Oh, Marasa just bobbles it, and that's going to be a missed possession. At this point in the game, only up one. You cannot forfeit that situation.
Yeah, it's a costly error, and she knows she'll want that back next time.
Yeah, and if we're looking at the chaser line now for San Antonio, so much height, possibly looking to play around the hoops a little more, because that level that we've seen, it's been more of a driving situation. I could see them more working behind the hoops with this line.
Yeah, they certainly have the numbers back there.
Yeah, Ryan Lieber with a shot. A great shot, yeah.
Lieber just says, I'll do it myself.
Yeah.
Even with Blackwood open behind the hoops and calling for the quaffle.
Yeah.
Lieber saw the shot and took it.
Yeah. And you know, you already mentioned it. Shooter's got to shoot. If it goes in, I got no problem.
Yeah. Level now.
Yeah. And you want to talk about pressure? It's here. I mean,
yeah.
it doesn't get crazier than this. Austin Viejo now with the defensive opportunity. Stepping up into the play, is going to contact from behind. He's going back to hoops, though. San Antonio with an even game and still 5 goals to go for either team. I mean, we're in for the long haul, I think.
Yeah, we are. First to 5, and this was a low-scoring game.
Yeah.
We're only at 7-7 right now with
Yeah.
the snitch catch included. So, yeah, unless the pace picks up or one of these teams gets more aggressive, yeah, I would expect some more minutes here in Game 2.
And honestly, the fast breaks, I think, become more and more present as legs get tired and tired.
That's true.
And it's not to say that fast breaks are easier for the teams, but typically the defensive response is a little bit slower, and that opens up the window.
Yeah.
But David Avila recovering the quaffle, gets it back. Oh, but please call dead. What?
I think there's some confusion whether Blackwood, when he was down, maybe came off room or...
Yeah, that could be the call.
Maybe a beater headed over there, although I don't see any beaters for Indianapolis in sight.
Yeah, if I had to guess, I think your first stab at it was true.
Yeah, we'll see what the refs decide here.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, seeing from the sideline, we get a motion similar to what I would anticipate an off broom.
Huh. They're calling a contact penalty on David Avila.
Yeah.
He's going to head to the box.
And that's a quaffle turnover for Indianapolis. Bludgers are in Maya and Jess Markle's hands, with Catherine Rogers now having to toss back to Tim Kwan. All right, Tim Kwan just screaming down the field, trying to catch Maya Heinbach off kilter, and is going to take one of the bludgers. All right, Logan Zahn gets into the middle of the field, finds Nathan Digman behind, who recovers. The shot? No way. Yeah, it's too tall.
And it's worth noting, Heinbaum and Jess Markle are in the game at beater for the Soldados. This is what San Antonio likes to call their 18-wheeler lineup.
Yeah.
Where they have 2 women in at beater and 4 men in at chaser.
And it serves so many purposes, because Jess and Maya have been working together a lot, and they do have that synergy on the field to create plays that maybe not many of the other duos on this team can. And whenever you're reaching as deep as San Antonio is forced to right now, and still finding players like these, you're just so happy. It's no wonder, like, so many of these players are so happy on this team because they get to play with, such high caliber and such deep depth.
Yeah, Markle is a Team USA beater. Both played at Texas State.
Yeah.
They can more than hold their own here.
Yeah.
They can create some opportunities for the Soldados.
In Indianapolis, trying to find an opportunity. They do have bludger control, and this might be it. Scott Ryan with the missed shot. Not finding his groove yet. A bit too strong on what I would consider like a shot pass, and Nathan Digman not able to control it.
Yeah, Ryan has really improved as a ball carrier this season.
Yeah.
Been a dynamic presence, but yet to really get going today.
I love seeing the willingness to continue doing what we all know he can do.
Yeah, you got to play your game.
Yeah, and it's just a matter of time until those shots do fall. Big pass to the backside to Avila. And now Luke with the quaffle. All right, resetting to the top of the key, Ren Lieber, excuse me. All right, Luke passing behind. Lieber, Luke, to the middle of the field, drives, keeps his feet somehow. Top side, Avila is going to score. 18-wheeler hitting third gear. We got a couple more to go, I think, and they know that too.
Yeah, that's great ball movement for the San Antonio Soldados. I think you saw Kylie McBride just deep in the Indianapolis zone there, wreaking havoc.
Yeah.
Great look from the Soldados.
Yeah. And now Advincula going for 1.5. And Nathan Digman, that's all he needs. Advincula charging in on the San Antonio beaters, drawing both of the beaters' attentions as Nathan Digman just right behind him, almost unseen. In the Batmobile of a drive, just in the dark of night, untouched on that left side hoop. Oh my gosh, no way, yeah. No, what the shots? They called that good. The angle, the refs calling that.
The crowd clearly disagrees.
Yeah.
Sitting in front of us, they think that the quaffle skated across the backside of the hoops and did not go through.
But goal's going to stand. San Antonio up 1. 3 goals to go. And Marasa beat upon arrival of that quaffle, and that's going to turn the ball over. San Antonio with the momentum, I'd say.
Yes, definitely. They just must feel really good with the ways that they're moving the ball right now, with how they're causing problems in the beater game. The momentum is surely with them.
Yeah. And the line change from Indianapolis to create something. You've got Blackwood now on the inside. Tim Wynn is going to be able to catch that and score. Perfect play. Blackwood just a decisive drive, gets the pass into the middle of the field to Tim Wynn, who gets up and scores on that top hoop. San Antonio only needs 2 more goals, and Indianapolis' season is over.
Yeah, I think that's Jay Stewart, but that's absolutely great recognition by Stewart to recognize that Indianapolis was starting to press and to instead drive in the opposite direction through the zone and set up Nguyen for the goal.
Yeah, this is classic Jay Stewart, though, on the drive. And it's good to see that it's working because, that's the bread and butter.
Yeah,
and we might see it again. Fast break opportunity.
Yeah, here it comes.
Towards the middle of the field, get your options open, spins, gets it to Luke. Luke's going to do the same thing. Passes over the top, Tim Wynn, another receiver on the play. 2 hands, and he scores. This is the same thing. Tim on the backside. It starts with Jay Stewart getting the ball out somehow to Luke, and that connection is just so clean.
Yeah. They're able to throw the ball up high with the height that they have in their chaser lineup.
Yeah.
And their chasers have been able to go up and get it and come down and score goals.
Yeah, Tim Wynn, just fits. There's been defenders at the hoops to stop him, And that's not happening. Indianapolis is going to need a big push here, and Murphy might be the one to do it. Luke Yeager gets stripped, though. Connor McIntyre on the play. Jay Stewart now on defense. Loses his broom. Might have to go back.
An assistant ref is going to come in with a call here. He's going to discuss with the head referee, Alex Amadal.
Yeah, conferring there on the play. Indianapolis, I mean, they have to hold San Antonio scoreless and score 4 goals of their own. I mean, it's almost as many goals as they've scored all game, and they've got to do it without letting San Antonio even close.
Yeah, this is a mountain for the Indianapolis intensity to climb here.
I mean, but there's no quit.
No.
The players, they still have that drive, that intensity to put it through, and that's all you can do. It is just next play. Scores even. You have to operate on that fact, and without that, I mean, you're losing your scope on the game. The timeout is probably going to keep that focus, I think, or reinvigorate that focus for them.
Yeah, I like this. They need to have a plan for what they're going to do, because they can't give up even a single goal or else their season ends here. And like you said, it is very possible for them to come back, but they're definitely going to want to talk it over, maybe think about how they can respond to this Indianapolis 18-wheeler lineup. The first time that they've shown it to us today, I believe.
And it's working.
Yeah, it is.
They went from down 1 goal after the snitch catch, now up 3, and the game 1 goal away. Yeah, I mean, if you're San Antonio, how do you deviate from that play? I mean, it's what is working now. You stick to your guns and go.
Yeah. I mean, you don't. You stick with what's working, and they have a little bit more of a challenge heading into tomorrow if they should advance, because now there is some film on what this lineup looks like with the roster that they have and the game plan that they entered with.
And the winner of this game will play the winner of New York and Charlotte in a tall order. Honestly, every game from quarterfinals on out is not a gimme. These are great teams, the best 8 teams in the entire nation for Major League Quidditch. And I mean, a toss-up is the only way I think I can describe it, given the parity of the regular season. And San Antonio on the verge of a 2-0, but there's absolutely a world where, it's the 2-0 the other way.
Yeah.
All right, Cywick with the pass, and Marasa's going to put it through. No, they call it, it's just wide, no good. Continue playing on. Cywick looking for another pass again. Oh, he gets beat. Jess Markle able to clip a fingernail possibly, and Cywick going to go back to hoops.
That's a huge turnover forced by Markle to just kill the momentum of the intensity coming out of that timeout. Huge play.
And San Antonio's going to sell out here. Jess Markle, Kylie McBride clearing the way. Luke Langlanet is going to be driving in. He's going to go to the ground. That's a great tackle. I mean, Luke Yeager bringing Luke to the ground. Luke on Luke action.
Yeah.
and Luke wins. Just which one? Indy.
We've seen Yeager dance around on offense, draw some attention from the defense. Now we see him draw the attention of the whole crowd with a game-saving tackle.
All right, Nathan Digman now conducting the offense. Aforementioned Luke Yeager. And now Cywick.
And now you're seeing 3 chasers up top for Indianapolis. This is the look that you've seen most often from them this season. This is almost a reset. or an out of bounds ball.
Okay, and Danny Yakub is going to get control for Indianapolis. This is exactly what they wanted. This is how Indianapolis can crawl back into this game. Murphy is on the backside. Now we can work that offense. They're going to go back to the box. They just wanted that safety while they didn't have control of the bludgers.
Right.
And now we can get aggressive.
That's exactly right.
All right, the drive. No good. It's off to the left, they say. The second missed shot from Digman, he thought it was in. Okay, Kylie McBride calling immunity. It was a false immunity. She does dismount and go back to hoops. Indianapolis intensity with bludger control. They have to get a defensive stop here. My Heimbach on the aggressive play is going to get control, actually. Danny Yakub losing it. And Sam McNew having to go back. Luke Langley, he's going to have an option. Danny Yakub pressing forward. Craig Garrison on the backside. Now back. Oh, big block! You're talking about big-time gameplay movement. That's out of bounds, too. Oh, they don't call it. It is unseen. And we're just dodging bludgers left and right. Austin Viejo trying to seal the game. It's no good either. Big block. Jeff Sywick is going to be the stuffer on that play. I mean, it's full-on Thanksgiving feast with the stuffs we're seeing out here.
Yeah, just like three game-saving stops, tackles on that play.
Everything. A smorgasbord of defensive plays.
A cornucopia.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. And San Antonio, it looks so good. Maya was able to beat Danny Yakub to get bludger control. They had only one bludger to beat, who ends up trading in that fact. No bludger situation. I mean, it's just for 3 seconds, but they get to the wall to the backside of the hoop. That's where they want it. One block. Ball goes to the ground. Second block. And now, I mean, Austin Viejo, after dodging 2 bludgers, I mean, just a roller coaster. So many ups and downs.
Yeah. Unclear where the quaffle is going to go. It's, I think, on the keeper zone line.
Yes. Yeah.
With
Luke
Langley.
Yep. About 10 yards out. Okay, never mind. We baited the whole time. Okay, now we get the quaffle turnover. Possibly because they Austin Viejo stepped out of bounds on the backside is what I'm assuming.
Maybe.
All right, Sywick driving on the right side, finds Murphy, is in transition, but not able to get the pass. It's right at the hips. It seems like an easy catch, but as you're running away from the ball, having to reach behind you to that hip area is not an easy catch.
Yeah, and they have to get back now.
Yep. McIntyre down deep. Luke Langley looking to find him. Craig Garrison looking to the front side of the hoops. Luke to McIntyre in the score. That's San Antonio on to the semifinals. 2-0. Melkite initially, and you know, we can come in. Melkite talking about last year, the fact that Indianapolis took a game, or last MLQ Championships, Indianapolis takes a game off of San Antonio to make it a 3-game series. She said, no, not this year. We're going 2-0 against Indianapolis. We're going to the semifinals fresh. We're going to make sure that it's a short Saturday so that we're ready for Sunday.
Yeah, this is such a gutsy performance from the San Antonio Soldados. Down a couple of Team USA players.
Yeah.
A Team Mexico player in Miguel Esparza, who's just been lighting up the league.
Arguably one of the MVPs of the season, but we have a quick turnover. Analysis aside, we want to get you these games. So we're going to toss it. We're going to be back in just a moment. We've got New York and Charlotte on this pitch, Austin and Washington on the other one. See you guys soon.
And you asked the last game, how long before we see Peter Lee? The answer is they had to lose one first.
Yeah. And John Jackson end to end. So 2-0 right off the bat here from New York. They're not looking to mess around. They're looking to right the ship in a hurry. Starting lineups on the Charlotte side, meanwhile, Joe Goldberg and Cody LeBove get the start in the beater position. It's going to be Trey Presley with the keeper headband, and Lee Hodge, Ryan Davis, and Aaron Smeckrud as the rest of the quaffle.
And one of the things we emphasized from that first game, it wasn't necessarily the Charlotte defense that was great. It was the New York offense that was bad. But bad, and they still scored 7 times.
Devin Lee has been playing for like 2 minutes and has been the most impactful single person in this whole series, I think. Absolutely.
And here comes JC, and I don't think anybody's going to say
the only one that was going to stop him was himself, but Lindsay Morello was there for the recovery. She sends it over to Peter Lawrence. Peter Lawrence, I think, was beat before.
And they are going to call it beat before. Desperation beat there by Charlotte to keep themselves in this one.
Yeah, because they're getting played off the pitch right now by the extremely athletic combo of Devin Lee and Frank Minson. Devin Lee did get beat at the very end of that exchange. I'm not sure whether an AR was looking at it, but we will see how it gets called. Stakes here. Season is on the line for New York. A Charlotte win punches their ticket to a semifinal versus the San Antonio Soldados, who just completed a 2-0 sweep of Indianapolis.
And looked good doing it.
Yeah. And on the other side, New York needs to win to force a Game 3 a little bit later tonight. A game that I think all eyes would be on if that were the case, because I think it's looking like all of the other 3 quarterfinals might end up tidy 2-0 wins.
And it is going to be a yellow card for Cody LeBove here for Charlotte.
Cody LeBove is, I don't have the stat in front of me, probably the team leader in cards accrued. Definitely tends to just play a little bit outside the rules here and there and does get caught for it. So on top of all the other issues befalling Charlotte early in the game here, they are now facing a beater power play as well.
And it looks like John Jackson is behind Charlotte's bludgers here. Still looking to take his time.
Peter Lawrence
getting
resets
into
there
JC.
to Aaron Sibia.
Aaron Sibia looking for a wide open Lindsay Morello.
And
A
that was
really
a
beautiful pass there.
Clean pass. The Rutgers connection created all those years back in school. Morello finishes. The beater power play is a success, and it is 3-0 New York, who are trying to drop the hammer down on Charlotte.
And the offense looking so much better, and it really has been Devin Lee making the difference. He's opened up the Charlotte defense so much.
Yeah.
He is calling for a sub here. We'll see how quickly he gets one.
Perry Wang looking to be an answer here for Charlotte after the first shift. Didn't really get the job done. I assume Celine Richard is going to be joining him soon. They're usually the beater pair, and yes, she subs in for LeBove.
And we'll see if Charlotte can't get a foothold in this game with this beater pair now. On Peter Wett making a really good play there.
Davis into the lane. Shot goes low, and Lee Hodge can't come up with it. Some of the things that were falling for them in Game 1, just not doing so in Game 2.
Haven't had too many looks either. We've seen some turnovers early for Charlotte.
Yep. If the foul basically ended one possession before it ever even started.
And Perry Wang did make the difference. He did open up a shot for them there.
Yep.
And now we are seeing Jason Rosenberg come back into the game. He's going to be Devin Lee's sub. He was their bright spot in Game 1.
Yeah, he and Rachel Ayala-Silver are definitely the best beating pair we saw from New York in Game 1, though that Frank Minson-Devin Lee pair in Game 2 obviously did some work. Taylor Crawford runs in the lane, can't handle that pass. He's had a bit of an iffy day, but the beater control is enough that John Jackson was able to pick up the ball, and now we're going to see if there's a call on the play. Perry Wang somehow went stumbling through the air. Crawford is headed to the box.
We'll see if we can't pantomime the call here for you.
Blue card was given.
Maybe a swat, maybe a bludger swat. It's the most. That's the most likely blue card you'll see pulled today. And it is going to be a quaffle turnover here, so some good news for Charlotte. They're going to have a power play with the ball, and they're going to be looking to run. They've got.
Yeah, and the third bludger is just isolated over here on the near side of the pitch. Jason Rosenberg is off broom, so it is going to be Perry Wang who's going to beat Rachel Ayala-Silver. Ayala-Silver does reset to Rosenberg to try to stop the fast break. Presley is also stopped by John Jackson, but now John Jackson hits the lane, and it's a large beat there from Jason Rosenberg. It is going to stay with Charlotte. No, I think they're going to say Trey Presley propelled the ball, It's going to be a turnover.
Yeah, and that's a really bad possession there from Shaw. That's the kind of spot they really look to run, and just nobody going with Presley there to really make a difference.
And that's a heat check confidence beat there from Jason Rosenberg. That's a long beat, and if you miss it, it's no bludgers the rest of the way, and it's just squarely nabbed Trey Presley in the chest.
And we're gonna get a blue card now on Lee Hodge.
It's going to be on Presley for playing after the beat. Obviously Hodge had minimal to do in that play outside of tracking down the quaffle.
I think we just got a lightning delay called here on the pitch.
Alrighty, so we have a delay. We are going to bring the stream to a wait screen for a bit here as we figure it out. Usually it's going to be about a 30-minute delay, and it will reset every time we have lightning. We will try to keep you updated. Check all of our social media channels, Facebook, Twitter, etc., and we will get back to the pitch as soon as it is safe for our players. We thank you guys for watching. We hope you tune in for the rest of this game, too, here between the New York Titans and the Charlotte Aviators. Alrighty, and we are back. The lightning delay has reached its conclusion. It has stayed dry and sunny here, but we're looking out for our players, and when it's within 10 miles, it's something we got to take into consideration. But we're about to get started. New York obviously opened up that really quick 3-0 lead. They're going to look to expand upon it with their season lives on the line.
Yeah, and we'll see if the lightning delay affects the game at all. New York was looking dominant in those first 4 minutes. Plenty of time for Charlotte to make this a game. Obviously, they won the first game, so the pressure is all on New York this time. But Charlotte wants to end this day as quickly as they can and get ready for tomorrow. They've played a lot today.
Yeah. So we're going to see. We're about to get started. It is New York Quaffle with the 3-0 lead. Bludger control is with Perry Wang and Sulin Richard. We're going to flip it over the field if we haven't already. We're all set. There are no penalties. Oh, no, sorry. Taylor Crawford is serving a penalty right now, it appears.
Oh, no, there's 2 movements.
Oh, so they're going to have to be really careful here.
And Jason Rosenberg escorting Jackson up the pitch, doing a nice job, giving him some space. There's no defender stepping. A lot of space behind for Taylor Crawford. He's going to shoot. He's going to score.
That's the kind of confident take we didn't see from Taylor Crawford a lot this weekend. And bludger control as well off of that.
Well, Ryan Davis picking his way down the field, gets by a beat and puts one through.
Yeah, that's how Charlotte has stayed competitive all weekend long, those mid-range shots. Really confident to go in against 2 bludgers, and it wasn't even with a bludger support because Sulin Richard had lost her bludger. But Ryan Davis just felt out the defense, hit the mid-range shot. It is now 4-1.
Yeah, really great individual play there from Davis.
And of course, even while leading, the slow pace of play that Titans bring is sometimes more of their curse than their blessing, especially in a game that they're favored in. It's a lot harder for them to pull away when they're taking a minute or 2 per possession. Parada's now in the game for Jackson, goes across to Crawford. It's the exact same look from the last possession, and it's another goal. Now it's going to be up to Charlotte to make an adjustment because they do not have an answer for that little cut from Taylor Crawford.
Yeah, and a nice move there from Crawford to shimmy off the defender, to stepping Davis and get himself a clean look at the goal.
Yeah. So we're about 7 minutes in now, and it's an early 5-1 lead from New York, who needs to win to force a Game 3 here under the lights tonight. A Charlotte win punches their ticket to the semifinal. We know already that the San Antonio Soldados are waiting for the winner of this game.
And does it look like Presley's limping to you a little bit? He might have gotten knocked up before the lightning delay.
Yeah. I mean, you could. There's a number of injuries, I'm sure, starting to pile up on the Charlotte team as a wayward pass is picked off by Mohogog. As we mentioned, this is their 5th game of the day already compared to New York's 2nd. And Taylor Crawford's about to make it a quick post-lightning strike hat trick and a 6-1 lead for New York.
Yeah, and they're opening up the lead here. Charlotte doesn't have any answers.
Yeah.
And they're really able to that play was nicely done in transition.
Yeah. And Charlotte does have to, at some point, decide, when do we stop taking our best shot in Game 2 and save it up for Game 3? Like we said, Game 3, if they can't win this one, is going to be their 6th game of the day. They are not the deepest team. They tend to run... In the beater game, they're very deep. Their Quaffle game, though, tends to only run about 2 lines. So can they kind of make sure they have those minutes fresh for what could be a potential Game 3?
We mentioned before the lightning break, unlike a lot of teams, they do have... unlike every other team, they've got the best sinker here.
Yeah.
They've got Ryan Davis. He's going to be able to keep them in it for an extended period of time. So if they can keep it within, 40 points, I think they've got to go for it.
Yeah. Well, right now the lead is 50, and it was another lost possession there. Tony Bonadio, who had a very good shift in Game 1, makes a big beat there on Jason Rosenberg, and he's going to be able to press Parada. Unfortunately for Bonadio, Parada had not crossed half yet, so he has this whole middle quarter of his defensive side to use for spacing. And New York gets away without using a reset after a 1 play there. It's Bonadio and Hamill. These are the 2 players that Ryan Davis, in their interview after Game 1, was talking about really taking big steps over the course of the season and allowing this beater core to have that extra level of depth. Bonadio misses the beat on Parada and then does get beat, so it's going to be a loss of bludger control. Now can New York strike once again? This time it's with Hagag. Taylor Crawford has it behind. Oh, no, he loses it out of bounds.
Yeah. Better ball pressure there from Charlotte.
In Hagag's defense, he plays with a ton of 6'2" Quaffle players and Taylor Crawford.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's going to be Logan Hartman now taking over ball carrying responsibilities for Charlotte.
Yeah, and Quincy Hildreth finding the field also.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about, where Hildreth isn't necessarily as comfortable with the mid-range shot that has really been their bread and butter against this defense, so maybe it makes a little bit more sense to play him on the wing. It's a missed beat there from Jason Rosenberg. Quick bludger control, and now Hartman's looking to drive. Flings one in the general direction of Hildreth, but Hildreth cannot get there. It's another wasted opportunity.
Yeah, didn't see it in time, not quick enough to get there.
And Jason Rosenberg also, meanwhile, won a race to a ball and managed to keep bludger control for the Titans.
A lot of good things happening here for New York. They've kept the pace slow. They've forced Charlotte into half court sets. And Charlotte's has not looked good all weekend really in half court sets.
Yep. Prada walking it up slowly, escorted by his two beaters with bludger control, hits the right side, finds Crawford. This is where Crawford's been so dangerous, and he once again delivers. Crawford, who had a very quiet game one that we gave him some criticism for, has answered the call in game two here.
Yeah, he's been unstoppable from behind the hoops.
And that's where he makes his money and has all season. The second leading scorer on this New York team behind John Jackson, 22 goals to his name. Waiting on a call here. Also possibly just resetting the ball back to the Charlotte keeper. 7-1 the score if the goal stands, which I believe it does. I don't see any indication that it won't. Hildreth now with the ball.
Hildreth coming down the pitch. Logan Hartman has not looked that great on the ball this entire series and this entire weekend. And Hildreth, as you mentioned, maybe less comfortable with the mid-range shot, but has looked great dishing on the drives.
Yeah, Hartman wants to be in the lane, clogging things up and looking for a passing option. Unfortunately, Crawford had the answer there for Hildreth on the drive attempt, and it's just going to be another turnover. It has been very quiet from Charlotte on the offensive end in this game.
Yeah. They've just looked a little checked out all game.
Yeah.
Offensively and defensively.
I mean, it's hard to keep that energy pumping after such a huge upset, and then you have to take an hour break, and you're going to your fifth game of the day.
Right.
Crawford has the ball a little bit earlier down that wing than he has it most times, which means Quincy can just kind of set up out there against him. So he just swings it back to Prada. Bonadio, just throws a bludger in the direction of Prada and then beats Rosenberg to the second bludger.
Both bludgers gone. Hagag's going to have a no bludger situation if he's quick enough. Looks like, and that's a great beat there.
And Hagag's just going to go all the way to the hoop, over and under and through.
Yeah, and a really heads-up play from Jason Rosenberg to beat the incoming Charlotte beater, who was going to go make the play on Hagag. Opens up the lane. Hagag able to take advantage.
Yeah, and now we're getting into a bit of a blowout situation here with about 11 and a half minutes into this one. Can Charlotte turn the tides? Do they use a timeout? I mean, they had a 40-minute timeout, and they couldn't make the right adjustments at that point.
Charlotte, nice little pick there.
Off ball.
Some movement. Leaves the chaser open on the wing.
Yeah, Howard's open. High beat there from Rosenberg. Forces the quaffle out, but nothing more. And now Quincy Hildreth looking to drive on no bludgers. This is the head of steam he wants. He picks out Diana Howard. She scores smoothly, and finally Charlotte breaks the New York 5-0 run coming out of the break.
And they left her open off the pick, just hung out in the right space, and finally Quincy is able to find her.
Yep. Some subs now from New York. They did get a lot out of their second quaffle line there, but now the first one comes back out. Can they continue to produce on the offensive end? Peter,
we've seen some really encouraging signs from Jason Rosenberg. Really played well all series. Still a lot of space in front of John Jackson.
Yep. Charlotte not pressing the issue all that much. It's going to swing around to Pierre Lawrence, who's now playing the Taylor Crawford position. Not as effectively as they just lob one back up to John Jackson. Rosenberg. Rosenberg dodges. And then it's just an easy John Jackson. And stealing a phrase out of Jake Archibald's book, Let's Out of Let's Go, as the lead extends to 9-2.
About as easy as a possession can get there. The beat never really had a chance.
Devin Lee is checked back into the game. His first shift alongside Frank Minson was nothing short of absolutely dominant. This time he's going to be playing with Jason Rosenberg. And it's a high press off of the tap beat. Quincy Hildreth's beat. Diana Howard is going to get wrapped up by Jackson, though Jackson comes off broom, but it's only black shirts swarming the quaffle.
And still a good decision there from Hildreth to not turn the ball over to midfield. But John Jackson comes down the field anyway. Nobody's in front of him.
But Ryan Davis strips him.
Yeah, a really great play there from Ryan Davis. It looks like
yep. JC Aaron-Sebia has stepped out of bounds. I appreciate the AR pointing to the exact spot in which Aaron-Sebia stepped out of bounds. So it's going to be Logan Hartman's ball, but it is a 7-goal lead here with about 14 minutes into this game 2 of this quarterfinal series. Meanwhile, in pitch 1, Washington and Austin are playing game 2. Austin won the first game. Washington got off to a better start in game 2. We'll see what is going to happen over there. Both of these series could end in this game, but it's starting to look like this one is not going to, as New York has really been commanding throughout this one. Cody LeBeau's back in the game. Logan Hartman,
a little late there.
Yeah, and Eric Morlock was all over that one.
Yeah, nice driving lane there. Wasn't really a chase to the step 2, but the beater made the play instead.
The New York beaters have been so willing to throw early and make the beats too, and that just has thrown an extra wrinkle in the Charlotte. Charlotte in game 1 was just getting into that lane over and over, and now they're just eating beats every time they get into that lane.
Yeah, really active from the New York beaters this game.
2 semifinal participants already all set. Boston and San Antonio both completing their sweeps, returning to the semifinals that they reached in 2019, though they won't play each other like they did. 2 spots left. New York needs to win 2 straight to punch their ticket. Charlotte needs 1 more. And then, as we mentioned in the other game, Washington down 1-0 to Austin. The winner of that one to play Boston. The winner of this one to play San Antonio. John Jackson has the ball. Still plenty of Quidditch to be played here.
Loses the ball.
Yeah.
Ryan Davis able to pick it up.
Couldn't tell if a bludger forced that or if it just slipped out of Jackson's hand. Just to be clear, that weather delay did not come with any rain. The field is no wetter than it was an hour ago.
So Devin Lee throwing bludger back, getting it back on defense.
Yep.
Charlotte with bludger control.
Yeah, Lee and Minson, the original beater pair, now in for New York. Aaron-Sebia steps up. Logan Hartman just backs off. Going to try to hit the lane once again. And this time does uncork the mid-range shot. And that was the difference. There wasn't anybody to step up. No point defender, no beater.
Yeah, nice job there clearing the way that Perry Wang.
Bludger control does go to Charlotte. Perry Wang able to outrun Frank Minson over the side or dodge the beat. One of the two. It's now New York's going back into the depth. Vinny Iannucci now in at keeper. Playing with Peter Lawrence and JC Aaron-Sebia, as well as Lindsay Morella. Lee looking for an opportunity to attack either Goldberg or Wang.
Nice beat there.
Yeah, now the press comes high. It was 2 perfectly landed beats there from Charlotte. And then JC Aaron-Sebia has just shoved the ball out of bounds. Ryan Davis wants to take this as quickly as they can.
And he's looking to run.
Yeah, because they're getting support. Quincy Hildreth is coming down the wrong side. And a misplaced pass there from Davis. And it's going to go well out of bounds. Those are the opportunities that they cannot pass up. That would have been a real shift. It would have been a quick 2-0 run. The lead would have been down to 50. Instead, New York gets to regroup.
Right.
Like you said, as long as the game is hanging around 50-40, with the threat that Ryan Davis provides in the seeker game, it's far from over.
And we saw a very thrilling comeback that they mounted against Washington. It ultimately fell up short, but it was a Ryan Davis snitch grab that started it all.
Yep. And same with that New York game. I mean, they didn't have to come back as much, but did come back a couple points with that grab. Aaron-Sebia with the ball up top. We're reaching the 17-minute mark of play here in Game 2 of this quarterfinal. Oh, and some effort plays from Mike Phillips, who has some of the fresher legs on Charlotte, hasn't played as many minutes.
Forces the reset there, really nicely done.
Yeah, Perry Wang and Joe Goldberg are deep into New York territory. Now they're behind the play, though. It doesn't matter. Perry Wang's going to clean it up. Yep, it's a late throw there from Peter Lawrence. Wang and Goldberg were everywhere in that play.
And Phillips starting it all with the press.
Yep. I mean, sometimes, teams want to really condense their lines and, play their best players in their big games. But at some point, your best players playing at, 70% are not better than your fresh subs off the bench.
Absolutely, and everybody's got to make the distinction. At what point do those fresh legs start to matter more?
Yep.
And we're seeing the answer in a game like this, where you need some spark. It's a perfect opportunity to see that happen.
We haven't seen a lot of Devin Classic in this game either. He was a solid contributor in that
really
game
good.
too. Yeah. And Joe Hauerwas, I think, also had a goal in that game. I'm not sure we've seen him on the pitch either. 9-3 the score. Beaters just sorting some things out.
And I'm interested to see where the quaffle ends up. It probably should be Charlotte on the restart. It will be Hildreth. It will be Quincy Hildreth getting the quaffle on the restart here.
And
Head
Hildreth's
up, looking to run.
Yeah, because there's no bludger. Rachel S. Silver's going to gather the only one. Full head of steam. Quincy Hildreth tough to stop. They call him off broom. Wow, coming off your own broom on a fast break is a tough pill to swallow.
Yeah, and that's two really bad. That's two missed opportunities on fast breaks in a row. Usually, the Charlotte team's so good in transition.
Yeah.
We saw Ryan Davis with the errant pass to Quincy Hildreth, and now Hildreth coming off broom.
Yeah, but tired legs breed tired minds, and it's just been a couple of little mental errors. Iannucci still in the game here at keeper and swings over to Morella.
And Morella out wide with the quaffle.
Jess Daly's entered the game for Charlotte. And we are at the 18-minute mark. This is definitely more depth out of Charlotte.
Another great beat there by Joe Goldberg, but it's going to leave a lane open.
Wang
beat
misses
goes
the beat.
wide.
Oh, Mike Phillips just takes it off of Iannucci.
Yeah, another great defensive play. And he gives a little fist bumps for his efforts, and he deserves it.
I mean, he's showing up big. They gave him some minutes, and he's making the absolute most out of them right now.
Yeah, two great defensive play there. Defensive play there is by Mike Phillips.
Yeah, only a couple possessions here left before the snitch on pitch period. Charlotte could really use a couple goals because right now, even if it's 9-3 and they make a catch, it's still a long road to a win. The Smeckeroos just nowhere to go there. Pressured high by Mike Lee. They force the turnover. We get subs in the beater game after a very strong shift from Wang and Goldberg. It's now going to be Bonadio and Sulin Richard.
And Sibia gives the ball back up to Lee up top.
Rosenberg now back in the game in the beater game. Lee, that was a pass.
Sibia.
Yeah. Tough target to miss back
Probably
there.
the only one that could go up and get
Yeah. I thought that thing was skied. Aaron Sibia is going to reset it all the way back to Lee, just playing catch with each other from about 25 yards away. Yep.
Lee looking for a shot.
It's just going to swing it, though. And now it's what can Aaron Sibia do? He gets in the lane and rips one through. That has been New York's bread and butter all game in this one. I think a combination of Aaron Sibia and Crawford have scored about 6 or 7 goals from that exact cut.
That was probably the hardest one that they had to hit, too. Yep. Coming across his body to that top hoop. Tough shot.
Yeah. Aaron Sibia's got crazy body control when it comes to those mid-range shots. We saw it in the Boston series as well. So time's ticking away here in the initial period of game 2. 10-3 the score in favor of New York. New York seems very much in position to force that game 3.
And Charlotte counting down. Oh, and that ball is...
Molly Potter's going to knock down that pass, and we reach the 20-minute mark, and that is going to be the end of the period. And I'm going to be honest with you. If I'm New York here, I say, you know what? Let Ryan Davis get theirs. If they want to go out there and catch that stitch, so be it. Just keep our beaters in the quaffle game. Start trying to get as many of those 6 goals as you can get before you have to go back to playing half-court offense. Even if you're exchanging, you just need to get the scores up. Goal is to get to 160 here, and they are leading 100 to 30.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a really good up.
Yep. So assuming that New York does hold on here, what do you think Charlotte needs to change going to a deciding game 3?
It's a good question. They need to get into their transition game better, more effectively.
They also need to change. They need to figure out a defensive answer for that cut that Taylor Crawford and JC Arnsevia have been running.
Yeah, that cut worked with Taylor. The cut Taylor Crawford was running was slightly different from Arnsevia, right?
Yep. A little more incisive.
Right. Arnsevia likes to hang out a little bit further. With Arnsevia, you really want to get a body up and on him and take away space from the shooter. With Taylor Crawford, it's a little bit of a tougher challenge. He poses a double threat on goal, a triple threat on goal when you include his ability to pass. And that's going to be a tougher answer, especially with how much force John Jackson drives with.
Yeah, for sure. And that's the problem, right? They're stuck between a rock and a hard place because they keep letting these ball carriers deeper into the zone, which means the pass is short enough that you can't step out to Crawford, you can't step out to Aaron Sibia. So they either need to start marking that player out wide, or they need to try to force the ball carriers to not be able to get as deep into the zone with higher beat.
And we saw Davis get caught in between that one time. And the first time let the drive come through. The second time got caught trying to step.
Yep. So we'll see if New York does put any effort into the beater game or not. They do have bludger control, but Frank Minson does beat Ryan Davis, but quickly eats a beat from Bonadillo. Kellen Cupid is going to get the first shot here in the Seeker game, as John Jackson is looking to drive in the Quaffle game.
A nice pick there by Molly Potter.
Nobody steps to John Jackson. That was some low-energy defense out of Charlotte. The score is now 11-3, goal to 160.
Yeah, we'll see what Davis is able to do here.
Yeah. Mo Hagag is a snitch on pitch beating specialist for New York. Snitch on pitch beating is so much about energy and running and making your quick back and forth when you get beat. Hagag's done that very well for New York all season. Plays no other beater minutes for the team.
And Presley now here on a drive.
And Jackson knocks that down, and this is exactly what New York wants, to just start running up the goals. But a nice recovery there from Cody Lebov. And that's why if Cody Lebov is going to stay in the Quaffle game, I dislike even more that New York is staying in the Seeker game.
Yeah, and Presley just lost the ball there on his way in.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. Kellen Cupid will deliver a catch at some point off of Justin Barnard. So I guess New York is really just weighing their options. They're not going to get caught up to all that quickly. They're up 8. So, if Kellen Cupid can catch in the next minute or two, it'll be smooth sailing.
Just Barnard Jackson back with the ball. We've got a little bit of a beater scrum. Ref's going to figure that one out.
Yep. Bondio had come to clean it up. I think there might actually be an injury to Hagag is the problem here. So we will get that one sussed out. 11-3 now the score. The goal score is 16. The time of a hypothetical Game 3 in the series was scheduled 8:30. We'll just keep an eye on our social media channels. Because of the lightning delay, we're going to have to figure out exactly when that Game 3 would be played. But it will be happening tonight. All these semifinals, barring, knock on wood, any further lightning delays, will be finishing up tonight.
Yeah, I wish we actually had wood to knock on.
Hey, we have a lovely press box. We can't complain at all about what Troy Park.
The facilities have been great here at Troy Park.
For sure.
And Hagag getting up under his own power, able to walk off. Should just be a bit of a knock.
Yeah. Important player for the team, though, but like you said, I don't see him missing any time. Maybe he won't play the rest of this game, but he probably isn't necessarily needed.
And Rosenberg subbing in for Hagag.
Yep. Jackson does have the ball. Could have a little out of position.
Morello, quick pass back. Really well done there. Shot goes through. Really good give and go from Morello and Jackson.
Yep. Ryan Davis did get a brief look at Barnard, but Jason Rosenberg did clean it up. Charlotte needs to convert some of these no-bludger situations, though. They had a good one that Trey Presley failed to convert on earlier. Ryan Davis is flying at Justin Barnard right now. Substitution in for New York. It's actually going to be David Fox, who's been playing, I'd say, the 4th most minutes at Seeker for this team, but they're always looking to identify a matchup that works for them for a given snitch.
Presley looking at his first shot, and he gets swatted away by Jackson.
Yeah, Presley's now failed to convert twice in these no-bludger situations in snitch on pitch, and Mike Lee is looking to make it a 3rd time, though I believe he's going to get called for back contact.
And we have not seen Quincy Hildreth. We've not seen Lee Hodge, which are two people you normally see here in these snitch on pitch situations. I wonder maybe if this team is just trying to save their legs for Game 3.
Yeah, and I also wonder, JC Arancibia, if the reason he's not seeking is because they want to get him in the Quaffle game to try and help run these last few balls up.
And I'd be curious to see how many more times Ryan Davis comes out to catch this snitch for Charlotte.
Oh, that was very close there from David Fox. The sock comes off. It's not to be. It was a goal there from Trey Presley. Kind of left John Jackson in the dust, and John didn't seem to want to give the effort to avoid the goal going down from 9 to 8 goal lead. 12-4 is the score. 16 is the goal. This catch here from David Fox would be just short of decisive. Oh, he is getting very far behind Barnard at this point. Crawford is in the lane.
Ooh.
And that is going to be the double whammy, the 4-point score, the goal, and the snitch grab. And if everything is called good, it is going to be game, set, match here. Sorry, just game, because we have a match still to play. We are going to be headed to Game 3.
Really good grab there by Fox.
Yeah, Fox was shooting behind Barnard constantly. They are reattaching the sock to Barnard. They could just be doing that as a courtesy, but also possible the goals. The catch is not going to be good. The goal is definitely going to be good. Yeah, so the catch is going to be called no good. Quaffle, as we said, was good. So New York just 3 goals or a catch away from a win.
And a catch here feels almost a minute at this point.
Yeah. I mean, David Fox is shooting behind Justin Bernard consistently.
The hands
here.
look too quick.
Yeah. And like you said, it does seem like Charlotte is playing some of its depth here. Seems like a bit of a concession, to be sure. Which honestly, the question is, do you even waste Ryan Davis's energy at this point?
Right.
Just Daly is going to score that one on a nice pass across from Joel Hauerwas.
Ooh. Fox pick up a knock from his own teammate there.
Yep. Taylor Crawford puts that one through. It's just now 2 goals more for New York. At some point, the beating from Charlotte has to switch back to the Quaffle game. Probably should have happened already, to be honest.
Absolutely should have happened.
Lee Hodge is taking some reps at keeper, which kind of shows some of the legs that they want to be resting here. Hodge plays a lot of minutes, but does not play a lot of minutes at keeper.
Lee Hodge taking his time.
Just Daly has the ball, fresh off another goal. We're going to get a whistle.
Ryan Davis still on the field at seeker for Charlotte.
It's going to be a bludger turnover and a blue card for Charlotte. It's going to be in bludger control. It's probably going to mean another goal in the opposite direction. And
The game seems pretty inevitable at this point. It's interesting that Davis hasn't subbed out yet.
Just Daly is still in control, working on Parada, gets over to Hauerwas. They connected for the last goal. Daly swings across the zone. He's looking for, beautiful pass.
Swallowed the hoops.
Good recovery by Parada, but also nice ball movement from Charlotte. Parada's looking to drive. Does have the beater power play. Nobody seems to be getting in his way. Oh, he gets stripped at the last second. Oh, he can't put it through. We'll wait for the call. The hoop did Charlotte some favors there, to be sure.
It almost looked like the ball went through and went off the back of a Charlotte player and then popped out, but
Yeah,
I think the ball is...
Yeah, I saw it come off I thought the T-piece, but obviously the refs do have a better view than us.
Oh, infinitely.
Cupid now back in the game, looking to deliver that winning catch for New York. And at this point, I kind of feel like New York needs a confidence catch because their seekers have really struggled against these Snitches so far.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Yeah, in a perfect world, New York draws up. They absolutely make this catch earlier.
Yep. Crawford is called off Broom. Ooh, Justin Bernard also going down hard there in a little extra scrum. Yep, Taylor Crawford came off Broom. Another failed attempt at a goal there. New York needs 2 goals or a snitch grab to lock down Game 2 and force a Game 3 here in our quarterfinal. Frank Minson high pressuring on Hauerwas. Misses the beat though. Now Hauerwas looking to run.
Nice tackle there from Morella.
Takes him down. And John Jackson is going end to end.
Nobody can stop him.
Doing his best Colin Friday impression there.
Not quite as quick as Colin Friday.
No. Good head of steam though. 15-5 is the score. Next goal wins here for New York or next snitch grab. That's the snitch grab. Kellen Cupid delivering the win for New York. We just need to wait on the official call.
Yeah, that was a pretty nice grab too. Over underneath the armpit, over the back.
Yep. Show respect from the 2 seekers. Their 2 seekers have really made the mark all season. Ryan Davis, of course, we talked a lot about. But Kellen Cupid also a very solid season. Catch is going to be good, so New York does get to end it, securing a grab. 185-50 is the score. New York will force a Game 3, and we will be seeing that one on pitch 1. Like I said, we're going to have to talk to teams, figure out the exact time of start, but we will get back to you as quick as you can. Keep on checking on our social media and check on our Pitch 1 feed as well. I don't know what's happening in Austin, but if they need a Game 3, that Game 3 will be played on Pitch 2. For Noah Schwartz and for Harry Clark, our producer, we thank you for watching. If it's the end of the day on Pitch 2, we will see you tomorrow for championships. Either way, though, don't miss Game 3 of the series between the New York Titans and the Charlotte Aviators. Take care.